Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Athol High Football, where today Athol High will be hosting the Mahar Senators in the traditional Thanksgiving Day game. This is Ken Purdy. Alongside with me is Brian Gamache. Brian, how you doing?
All right, glad that we can renew this rivalry here. One of the things about Thanksgiving this past year, turkey just happened to taste a little bit differently as we did not have a football game in the morning. We could watch some NFL football on television, but the traditional Thanksgiving Day game, they've had played it every year since continuously since 1953, although a couple of years where it snowed on Thanksgiving, they played on Saturday. I think the last time that happened was sometime around 1988. But it's been a rivalry that started in 1894 when it was Athol against what was then known as Orange High School. And they started, there were some years that they didn't play, but it's been every school year they've played without fail since 1944. At one point, it was on Veterans Day, and then switched to Thanksgiving in the 1950s. So, wondering what was going to happen, considering that with everything going on in the world, there was no football in the fall. But glad that we can all be out here today to renew this rivalry and give these seniors one last time to play each other.
And the weather this time is actually pretty nice. We got about 70 degrees here on the field, which compared to last week's 30 degrees.
Yeah, and even a traditional Athol Mahar game, that's usually played on 10 a.m. Thanksgiving morning, and it can be somewhere. One year I remember it was a positive 10 degrees, and other years I can remember sometime around the 1950s. And it's been around 50 degrees outside on Thanksgiving. So we're going to have about 70 degrees today. It's about the temperature it is now. And that's great. So basically what's been going on last year, Mahar had an 8-3 record and went to the playoffs and lost a tough game to Ware. And, last year, these two teams met. Mahar won both times. They won the September game 41-0 and won on Thanksgiving by a score of 43-6. And actually the last three seasons, when they've played twice, they've split the series. Athol won one game, Mahar won the other, and that happened 3 years in a row. This year, they're only playing once, and I think the last time they only played once was 2015.
Yep, well, they only played once. Athol is currently 1-0. They won last week, you said 52-0.
What a difference a year makes. I mean, last year at this last football season, Athol would have anywhere between 13 to 15 players in uniform, and they lost they were 1 win, 10 losses, and they lost a lot of these games by more than 30 points. They play this year. I think they got about 25 players on the team right now, so it's great to see more kids coming out for football. And they won their first game by a score of 52-0 over Franklin County Tech. Caleb Cox had 3 touchdowns and 109 yards. Keegan Lutz for 100 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Pottinger is a newcomer, had 41 yards and a touchdown catch. Shea Brennan had 2 interceptions. Vescovi had 47 yards rushing. I mean, this is a new and improved Athol team.
And the reason that Athol is only 1-0 and doesn't have 2 games under its belt is because they had a bye week the first week.
Yeah, Mahar's bye week is the last week of the year. So Mahar's got this game plus 1 more. Athol's got this game plus 2 more. Just that they're keeping it this year to keep it local to mainly Franklin County plus Athol. So you're having Athol, Mahar, Franklin County Tech, and Greenfield and Frontier. And they're all going to play each team once. There's no playoffs. There's no state tournament. I hear in spring sports, like, your basketball and your baseball and softball, maybe track and field, they'll try to do some state playoffs. But for the other sports, they didn't do any state tournaments. This is although it is in the spring, it is considered the fall 2 season, as I saw the soccer team is out back behind us practicing, the girls soccer team. So sports that didn't get to play in September and October, like football and soccer, they're playing right now. So it was great for these seniors to be able to have their senior season, albeit it's abbreviated and no playoffs.
Yep, and we're coming to you a little bit earlier than we expected. We expected the kickoff would be 6 o'clock, but because of technical issues on the field, we had to come in. The next 2 weeks is going to be at 4 o'clock and not our normal 6 o'clock start time.
Yeah, I guess there was a problem with the lights. You got some of the lights on now. You got one tower that's shining and the other tower that's empty. So they got a problem that they with the lights they got to fix. I believe the very first year Athol had lights on their football field was 1991, and Mahar they got lights when they redid their whole football field with the artificial turf in the 2007.
Yeah, they definitely are starting to catch up to the other teams. I think Gardner had its field. It was 1988 when they first had the lighted field that they could play at night, but it was always played at Stone Field before then at 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
Saturday
Stone Field's a
afternoon.
baseball field. It's kind of behind that big chair, right?
Yep. It's the middle school now, or it's administrative offices now, but it was the middle school before they built the new middle school.
Yes. So this Mahar team is they're 1-1. So the first game of the year, we did it right here for you on AOTV Sports. They played the Greenfield Green Wave, who we're going to see next week against this Athol team, and that's actually a combination of Greenfield and Turners and Mohawk, and they won. And Greenfield just played a clean game and won 12-0. Mahar had their chances. They were into about the 5-yard line on 2 different occasions, but just couldn't punch it in. And so it was closer than the game indicated. But Greenfield, tip your cap to them. Mike Kacheski had his team ready to play, and especially a lot of those guys playing together for the first time because they go to three different schools. The quarterback was from Mohawk High School, and the tailback went to Turners Falls High School, but some of them played ice hockey because ice hockey combines all the schools in Franklin County into one team. But last week, the game we did here on AOTV, it was basically Noah Chabot to Jake Tenney times 3. 3 touchdowns. Jake Tenney had over 100 yards rushing and over 100 yards receiving. So he had a combined day of about 230 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's a pretty good night.
Yeah, that was definitely a good night. We'd like to remind you, you are watching Athol and Mahar football on AOTV channel 1301, which is simulcasting on WVAO LP Athol 105.9 FM. And we are also broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube tonight. And it looks like we're getting ready to start the game. Of course, we're not doing the usual, all the captains come out to the field. We're going to have one captain from each team to come out to flip the coin. Right now, I'd like to remind you that Athol is 1-0 and Mahar is 1-1. Next week, we will be bringing you the Athol Bears against the Greenfield Green Wave. And again, that is a time change. We will be live starting here on AOTV 1301 at 3:45 instead of 5:45. We'd like to remind you that the replay of today's game will be on Saturday at 5 p.m. and Sunday at 1 p.m., and that's on AOTV channel 1301. So the teams are getting ready to go here, Brian. How did Greenfield do last week? Do you happen
They
to
had
know?
a bye. They had the bye week last week.
They had the bye week last week. It seems weird that they're having a bye week and only playing 5 games.
Yeah. Well, there's 5 weeks of the season. They're playing 4 games. I know teams there's more schools in the Hamden and Hampshire County areas. I think they play a 6-game season. There's more teams. So we're not seeing some familiar opponents that we tended to see over the year. We're not going to see them play East Hampton. They're not going to play Ware. They're not going to play Palmer. Well, they haven't played Palmer in a number of years, but they had always played East Hampton for a number of years. And, of course, last year Mahar played Ware in the playoffs. So Ware was an old inter-county league team for decades until a few years ago. About 10 years ago, they switched to the Tri-County League. So it was good to be able to renew that rivalry. But yeah, it's one thing I didn't mention that Athol, not only is it a new season with twice as many players as last year, they got a new nickname. They're no longer the Athol Red Raiders, they're now the Athol Bears.
Yep, and it looks like we've got 66 from Mahar coming out to flip the coin and 79 from Athol.
Yeah, Manny O'Leary, who's a 3-year varsity starter. He even played a lot of fullback last year for Athol. He was number 44 when he played fullback. Let's see if he switches jerseys this year. Of course, Mahar, number 66, Jacob Karen, who was another 3-year varsity starter. And he's a 2-year captain. He was a captain last year.
And Athol won the toss. And let's see. Athol is declining, so they.
Yeah, they're deferring.
Yep, they're deferring to the.
So they're deferring. So Mahar's going to receive the kick. You see that a lot. You want to start off on defense and get the ball in the second half. And it's great to see that the band is out here this game. Mahar didn't have their band the last couple of weeks, but Athol has their band, and they're in the bleachers, socially distant.
And we will be playing the national anthem coming up soon. Like to remind you, you are watching Athol football on AOTV 1301, which is simulcasting on WVAO-LP Athol 105.9 FM. This is Ken Purdy along with Brian Gamache here. And you can't ask for a better day for football, that's for sure. Right now, we're waiting for the playing of the national anthem.
Yeah, the band's coming out up. They're staying in the bleachers, and so I think they were looking for somebody else to complete the chain gang across the field.
Varsity football game featuring the Senators from Mahar and your Athol Bears. At this time, we ask that you all rise. We honor America with the playing of the national anthem by the Athol High School Marching Band. Just a reminder, all spectators to maintain your social.
All righty, so we're ready to get ready, play some football here. And of course, everyone here at the field is social distancing. And we're hoping that by fall, we'll be back to playing some normal football starting in September. At least that's what everyone's hope is.
You got in Gillette Stadium being at full capacity, too.
Yep. All righty, so it looks like we're getting ready here to start down at Athol. As we said, Athol will be kicking the ball off to Mahar as they deferred. So Mahar will start with the ball again.
So this kind of reminds me a little bit like, before the teams had lights. Mahar didn't have lights until 2007, but they would play games in September in about 70-degree weather. So it's been a while. I think it was that year they had the mosquito virus, West Nile virus. They couldn't play night games, and Mahar would play 1 o'clock Saturdays. Athol would play 4 o'clock games. But we're about ready to kick it off here at Thomas J. O'Brien Field in Athol. And number 34, Dylan Fountain, will be the kicker. I don't remember him from last year. He's a junior who also plays fullback. So back deep to receive is Eli Spencer and Jake Tenney for Mahar. And Athol's wearing white at home. It's usually been the away team had been wearing the white jerseys, but Athol, it's a hot weather outside. Why not use your white jerseys?
Yep.
Okay,
Mahar's
and Fountain kicks. It's up and away. Spencer chasing after it, and it seems to go out of bounds at around the 5-yard line. Are they going to make him re-kick, or are they going to have him spot the ball at, I believe it's about the 35-yard line?
Looks like they're going to the 35-yard line where Mahar will have it 1st and 10.
Yeah, they got an option here, which one they're going to go. In the pros, they usually make them re-kick it. But I'm excited to see what this Athol team brings because, they seemed like they played a great game last week against the Franklin County Tech Eagles, 52-0. And I see twice as many players on the roster as last year. So, look for good things. They started out on a good note. It's good to see this program back in the right direction, having a full roster and winning some games.
And like we said earlier, Mahar is 1-1, but their first game of the season, they could have easily won that game if the ball wasn't called back on penalties.
Yeah, they had 2 trips inside the 5-yard line, but unfortunately, it doesn't count unless you get it in. So, okay, 2 wide receivers split out to the right. In motion goes Savigny, and here's a handoff to the fullback. Going left side off tackle, and he gets about 4 yards on that play. That was the fullback on that, number 42, Jacob Murphy.
And that was good for about 5 yards. So it'll be 2nd down and 5 for Mahar at their own 40-yard line. We've got 11:39 here to go in the first quarter of Athol Mahar, the belated Thanksgiving Day game.
You got Luke Melanson split up to the near side right. And here's Jake Tenney to the left side, and he gets brought down for a first down. He gets the first down by about a yard.
Yep, it looks like he got about 6 yards on that run, so it'll be a new set of downs for Mahar. They'll be 1st and 10 at their own 46-yard line.
So Tenney, number 27, he was a 1,000-yard rusher last season, and this year, a little rough go about against Greenfield. Greenfield brought a very strong defense, and I think he only ran for 45 yards in that game, but he had 238 yards from scrimmage in the last game.
Yeah, he was all over the place in the last game.
So Melanson and Savigny split out to the right. There's a little bit of a tripping action there as Chabot kind of tripped when he went to hand off the ball, so he goes backwards a couple yards.
Yeah, they lost. Oh, they're giving him the original line of scrimmage, so it looks like there was no gain. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 for Mahar at their own 46-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like he fell forward a little bit.
Yeah, it looked like there was a little bit of a confusion there. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 for Mahar here. We've got 10:25 left to go in the first quarter. 2nd down and 10 for Mahar.
Eli Spencer split out to the far side left. In motion goes Savigny. Here's the give to Murphy, the fullback. And up the middle, he gets about 3 yards.
So after that, looks like it's going to be about a 3rd down and 7 here. They got 3 yards on that. We've got 10 minutes left to go here in the quarter. 3rd down and 7 for Mahar. Last week, their offense looked pretty strong.
Yeah, just that Mahar won the battle of the line of scrimmage against Frontier. Frontier, year in and year out is a tough team, but it looks like they lost a lot of players to graduation from the year previous. Okay, you got Spencer split out to the far side left again. You got Tenney and Murphy in the backfield, and motion goes Savigny. And now play action pass here. Chabot throws deep to the left side. He's got a receiver just past Eli Spencer, incomplete, guarded by Jake Smith, number 32.
Yeah, he had him. He just closed a little bit late on that. So now it'll be 4th down and 7 for Mahar at their own 49-yard line.
Looks like he had the defender beat by about 2 steps. So if he hit him in stride, that would have been a good play. But there was an incomplete pass just past his stretched out hands.
So it'll be 4th down, and it looks like they're going to be kicking off to Athol.
Jake Tenney is back to punt. He kind of does it all for this Mahar team.
And as we were saying, weather is definitely not going to be a factor here, so the kicking game can happen.
Like it's going to be a fake. He does kick it off, but it just goes straight up in the air. Kind of bounces forward for a few yards. So that punt is a net gain of about 7 yards.
Yeah, looked like they were going for the fake, and then he saw that he wasn't going to make it, and he decided to kick it off. So they got about 6 yards on that.
So it was a punt. Looked like he was starting to fake it and run it, but he realized he had nowhere to run. He went and kicked it, but it got tipped a little bit. I'm sure Shane's running the replay on there. So it was a positive gain, but it's not going to get his NFL 40-yard net punt by any means.
It's not going to be an NFL highlight reel?
No. So let's see what's going on here. The center is Kane Young, number 66. Caleb Cox is under center. Cox gives to Lutz. Lutz goes over the right and breaks a tackle. He's still going. He's got a first down and some more. He's still going. and he's got about a 20-yard gain. That's Keegan Lutz, number 22.
That was a nice run. They did the sweep, and then he missed a few tackles, missed him, and he was off to the races. After that, it'll be a first down run into the Mahar territory. It looks like they're giving him about the 35-yard line. So we're looking at about a 20-yard gain on that play with 9:10 left to go here in the first quarter. Athol is moving the ball after the attempted fake run / punt. New set of downs for Athol. 1st and 10 on the Mahar 35-yard line.
Okay, and you got Caleb Cox, his 3rd year beating the starting quarterback. Gives to the fullback right side, and it's Fountain, and gets about 2 yards. So good defense for Mahar.
Yep, you got about 2 yards on that. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for Athol at about, well, they're saying he didn't have any gain on it. So they're still marking it at the 35. Very minimum gain on that. So it'll be 2nd down, and we'll give him a yard on that. It's 2nd down and 9 at the Athol 35-yard line. 8:42 left to play here in the first quarter. Athol is coming up to the line.
Kane Young leads his team out of the huddle. Got a wide receiver split out to the left. That's Noah Pottinger. And now here's Caleb Cox rolling to his left. He's rolling. He's going to run it. He's got some room. And the other quarterback, Noah Chabot, tackles him out of bounds. So it's going to be just shy of a first down. It's going to be about an 8-yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
Yep, it looks like they're giving him 8 yards on that. So it'll be 3rd down and about 1 at the Mahar 26-yard line for Athol. That was a nice run. And he just hit a brick wall when he hit Mahar's quarterback there.
Yeah, Noah Chabot also plays right defensive back.
So it looks like it'll be 3rd down and about 2. Wasn't as close as we thought he was. 3rd down and 2 for Athol.
Yep, we got Pottinger split out to the far side right. And here's handoff, and it goes over to Keegan Lutz outside, and it was brought down by number 4, Luke Melanson. Question is, are they going to give him enough for the first down? It's going to be close.
It's going to be close. They had him in the backfield as Mahar was able to get in the backfield last week against Frontier, and they're signaling 4th down. So we only got about a yard on that play. So it'll be 4th down and 1 for Athol at about the Mahar 26-yard line. They need to get to the 25 for a first down. We've got 7 minutes left to go here in the first quarter with Athol driving against Mahar. 4th down and 1.
So Jake Smith is split out to on the wing, and to the left is Pottinger, the wide receiver. And Lutz and
fumble on the play.
Yeah, the ball squirt. Oh, it's going to be a false start on Athol. So that's tough because they had 4th down and 1. Seemed to be going in the right direction, and unfortunately a penalty happens, but, that's football.
Yep, so they're going to back him up 5 yards, so a 4th and 1 becomes a 4th and 6 after the penalty is marked off, which they were kind of lucky that that play didn't count because they fumbled the ball. So
starting lineup for Athol: Noah Pottinger at wide receiver, Caleb Cox at quarterback, Keelan Lutz at running back, Jake Smith at running back, Dylan Fountain at fullback, DeBrule, Young, Mahegan, Casillas, and O'Leary at offensive line, and Gordon is the tight end. We've got 2 receivers split out to the left. That's both Lutz and Pottinger, and Caleb Cox is in the shotgun. He's back to pass. He's strolling. He's looking to run. He's being chased by Karen. Throws the ball, and it is incomplete. Some good defense by Mahar, number 22, Caleb Lemke.
Yeah, he was running for his life there. Again, we were saying about the Mahar defense, how they're able to get in the backfield pretty quick, and that's what happened. And Athol just didn't have any time, so that forced the turnover on downs. So it'll be 1st and 10 here for Mahar at their own 26-yard line. We've got 6:36 left to play here in the first quarter.
And it's Mahar ball, turnover on downs. Familiar lineup, pretty much all seniors for Mahar. And we got Luke Melanson split out to the near side right. And motion goes Tenney. Gives it to Teddy in the jet sweep coming around. He cuts the corner, and he's got some good yardage close to a first down.
And they're giving him the first down. It looks like he ran it for about 12 yards. It'll be a Mahar first down on that sweep.
Yet number 34, Dylan Fountain, and 22, Keegan Lutz in on that tackle. So it is a first down. So, yeah, Tenney was going in motion. They gave it to him on a kind of a jet sweep, and he was able to just get around that corner and get a first down.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Mahar on their own 44-yard line after that. Got about 15 yards on that. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Mahar at their own 44-yard line.
Yeah, no score right now as 6 minutes left to go in the first quarter play of the rivalry of Athol and Mahar.
No score here yet.
And Savigny in motion is to give to the fullback straight up the middle and gets about 4 yards on that play. That was Jacob Murphy, the fullback.
After the 4-yard gain, it'll be 2nd down and about 6. They're placing the ball at the Mahar 49-yard line. We've got 5:38 left to go here in the first quarter. You are watching this on AOTV 1301, which is simulcasting on WVAO LP Athol 105.9 FM.
And we also got live on AOTV13.org, and it's even streaming live on AOTV's Facebook page. So we've got it all covered.
To watch it this week.
So split out to the left is Eli Spencer, and the I formation gives to Tenney, spins around, and gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Keegan Lutzen on the tackle for Athol. So, yeah, happy belated Thanksgiving, and I had a turkey sandwich before the game to kind of get us into the Thanksgiving mood. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to watch the Cowboys or the Lions this afternoon. Maybe you had it saved on your DVR, possibly.
Yeah, and we've got about 4:44 left to go here in the first quarter after the turnover on downs for Athol. Mahar is looking right now at about a 3rd and 6 at their 49-yard line.
I formation again with Tenney at the tailback. And here's the handoff to Tenney. Off tackle to the left, busts through, gets about 3 yards.
Yeah, it looked like he had stopped there and then started to go again. So it'll be 4th down. They gave him about 3 yards. So it'll be 4th down and about 3 at the Mahar. They're giving him the Mahar 49. So there was a 2-yard gain on the play. So it'll be 4th down and 4.
Christian Casillas, number 78, I saw on that tackle. He's Athol, he was probably, I would call him their most valuable lineman from last season. He did a lot of great things, especially the last 2 years on the defensive line.
Mahar just called the timeout. We'd like to remind you that under these new COVID conditions, we've got 4:06 left to go here in the first quarter. Mahar just called a timeout, and as we were explaining last week, each team has 3 timeouts, and then they've got what they're calling a COVID timeout.
Yeah, it's about midway through the quarter. They're giving them another added break on here. So, yeah, 3 timeouts per half. On here, there's some new rules that have came into effect just last year, largely because they changed from NCAA rules with some slight variations to go into high school federation rules. So there's some specific rules on blocking and stuff like no blocking below the waist unless you're right at the line of scrimmage. And no, you used to see the old Mason Barrio who would hurdle over a defender in an open field, kind of like it was track and field. He was a very good track and field hurdler, but that's illegal today. They just don't want to get anyone hurt. But it looks like 4th and 4. Mahar is going to line up the punt. That's Jake Tenney again. So Mahar's been able to get a few first downs, but then the Athol defense comes up big to shut them down.
And they lined up to punt the last time, and looked like Tenney was going to go, but then he saw he wasn't going to make it and kicked it for about 6 yards. Tenney is now off the field.
Now Eli Spencer looks like he's going to be the one to punt this time. I think Eli punted a lot last year.
So we got 4th down and 4. 4:06 left to go here in the first quarter. No score on the game. The belated Thanksgiving Day game.
Warmer weather than what we're used to in the Athol Mahar game. Sure, these guys will take it. All right, here Spencer's going to punt, gets the punt up. It's kind of a low spiraling punt, kind of bouncing. Melanson is right by it, and it's going to be out of bounds at the 25-yard line, and that's where the Athol Bears are going to take over. You know, I was tempted to call them the Red Raiders, but that's a retired nickname. They're now the Athol Bears. I'm going to make that mistake at least once or twice, but I caught myself.
So we got 3:57 left to go here in the first quarter. Mahar just kicked the ball away, so it looks like Athol will be starting first and 10 on about their 25-yard line. It's kind of hard to read because they haven't repainted the field from last year.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the lines a lot better in previous years when we were playing a night game too. That has something to do with it. I mean, they may have gone over it, but I don't know how freshly painted the lines are. It's kind of difficult to see right now. But look at those orange markers across the field. They'll give you a decent indication of what's going on the lines. Now, Mahar's field is artificial turf, and you can see the lines perfectly on there, and the numbers are on the field on there. So, hey, this is old school. This is football the way it was meant to be played. You know. During the daytime, grass field. This has been Athol's football field since, I believe, 1938, I read somewhere. Did a lot of research on the internet. I guess years ago, long before either one of us were around, they had a field that was called Brookside Park. That was, probably about where that kind of like auto scrapyard is right now, I think. But that used to be a town park where Athol play a lot of their games, but that got blown apart in a hurricane in the 1930s. So this was the fairgrounds long before it was the site of Athol High School. And I believe sometime in the late 1950s, they moved the high school from what is, the building that was the old middle school by the Our Lady Immaculate Church. And they built the high school out here by the fairgrounds. It's been here ever since the late 1950s.
We got 3:57 left to go here in the first quarter.
And here's a handoff to the fullback going to the right. And the Mahar defensive line comes up big. I see Colin Boyle. Noah Chabot is pointing like it was a Mahar recovery, but I don't see the officials signaling that. So it looks like it's going to be second down and 10 for Athol. Good defense by the Mahar defensive line. I saw Colin Boyle in on that tackle.
Yeah, their defense has been really playing well these last few weeks. It's definitely been good for the team. And we've got 3:25 left to go here in the first quarter.
So far, all of Mahar's games have been fairly low-scoring affairs on there. 12-0, 20-8.
Yep.
All right, here's Cox in the shotgun. And Cox is going to take it running himself, and he's got some open room, but three Mahar defenders are after him, and Chabot pushes his fellow quarterback out of bounds, and he's got a good gain, about 7 yards.
So after that, it'll be a third down, and it looks like they're giving him about 8 yards on that. So it'll be third down and 3 for Athol. We've got 3:04 left to go here in the first quarter. Last week Athol was scoring pretty big. I believe they were up 32-0 after the first quarter. And the score right now here with 3:04 left to go here in the first quarter, where no one scored yet, 0-0.
Yeah, I think Mahar has a better defense than Franklin County Tech. But, tip your cap to Athol. They played a great game last week. Now here's Keegan Lutz, gives handoff going off to the right tackle, gets outside, and he gets some room. He's got a first down and more, and pushed out of bounds at about the 45-yard line.
That was a nice run by him. Got about 20 yards on that. So it'll be a new set of downs for Athol all the way out to their own 45-yard line. And he was able to get the ball out. So we got 2:56 left to go here in the first quarter with the score all tied up at 0.
Yeah, it's not just the low roster numbers. You had a player like Keegan Lutz, who I think only played 2 games last year because of injuries. So it's great to have him back. So Pottinger split out to the left. And here's the handoff. And it looks like Jake Smith, and he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
Looks like he lost about 2 yards on that, and that's what it is. It'll be a second down and 12 for Athol at their own 43-yard line after a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, so it looks like Athol is having good results running outside the tackles, but in between the tackles, they're trying to manpower past Colin Boyle and Jacob Karen, who are the co-captains, and they're having a tough time because they're just 2 very good defensive linemen for Mahar.
And we've got the clock running. We've got 2:19 left to go as the clock runs down in this first quarter. Second down and about 12 for Athol.
And Cox there's a double handoff, and he gets about 2 yards on that play.
Yeah, that was
on the reverse. That was number 32, Jacob Smith.
Mahar was not fooled on that. Looks like they got about 4 yards on the play. It'll be third down and about 7. They're giving it all the way up to the Athol 47-yard line. It's getting about 5 plays. The clock is still running here. We've got 1:45 left to go here in the first quarter of a tie ball game, 0-0.
Okay, two receivers. You got Lutz and Pottinger split out to the left and a receiver to the right. Cox and shotgun back to pass, and he's going to be sacked. And now he's finally down. Number 66, Jacob Karen, being able to get through that offensive line and wrap him up, and that's going to be a loss of about 7 yards or even more. It's going to be about 4th and 17.
Yeah, it looked like he was almost getting away from him. They had him deep, and he kept trying to sneak away. Almost did, but Mahar was able to bring him down for the 10-yard loss. It'll be 4th down and about 17. We've got the clock running here. 59 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Mahar's back waiting for the punt.
Pottinger is the punter, number 10. I don't remember him from last year, so I think it's his first year on the team. And here's the punt, high spiraling punt. And Jake Tenney's going to watch it. And you got Keegan Lutz is going to down it around the 22-yard line.
Yep, so it'll be 1st and 10 for Mahar. We've got 35 seconds left to go here in the quarter. Mahar will take over after the kick. Tie ball game right now, 0-0. Mahar will be starting this drive on their own about 22-yard line after that kick.
Yeah, so far we've had kind of a stalemate going on so far in the offensive end. It's not just because of the scoring. Neither team has really seriously threatened anywhere close to the end zone. I mean, you had that one really good run by Keegan Lutz that brought Athol to about the 25-yard line, but then they had a couple penalties and a couple plays for a loss, and there was a turnover on down. So let's see what Mahar brings as they got them in their familiar wing T formation. And in motion goes Savigny. And here's Chabot back to pass, throws deep, and he has Melanson, just overthrows him. Incomplete.
So we got 29 seconds left to go after the incompletion. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for Mahar at their own 22-yard line. Mahar is currently going left to right on your radio. Athol is going from your right to left, and they will be changing positions in about 29 seconds.
Yeah, so basically, if you're familiar with Athol, Mahar is heading towards the school on there, but they're on their own side around the 25-yard line. Well, ball's actually on the 22. Okay, Mahar comes out of the huddle, and there's Eli Spencer and Aiden Savigny split out to the left. Looks like they got trips left. Here's the toss that goes to Tenney. Tenney gets some room and gets about a 4 or 5 yard gain.
And he was able to keep him in bounds. So the clock is running. Got about
15 seconds left to go in the first quarter. I don't know if they're going to get another playoff here.
No, I don't think they're going to get another playoff here as the clock's winding down. 8, 7, 6, 5, and we can call it. They aren't going to run another play before the end of the quarter.
So that's the end of the first quarter of play here on the quasi-Thanksgiving rivalry renewal here between Athol and Mahar in the Fall 2 season of the 2020-2021 school year. It's the Athol Red Raiders nothing, the Mahar Senators nothing.
You said you were going to do it.
Oh, yes, I did. The Athol Bears. They're going to get after. Somebody's going to hit me every time I say that. So it's the Athol Bears, nothing. The Mahar Senators, nothing. Now, the Orange, when Mahar was Orange High School, they were the Orange Minutemen. I looked that up in the newspaper. I went to the Athol Daily News. What it was, I went to Athol Public Library and looked at some of the old scrolls because I wanted to see kind of the origins of the rivalry and the first year when they restarted the rivalry. And they had mentioned the Orange High Minutemen. And that when they renewed the rivalry in 1944, and that game was actually played here on this field, there's a lot of familiar names that people in this area are very familiar with who played in that game. Vic Colo, who used to be WJDF's radio announcer for many years, high school football games. He was a sophomore and a running back, and
teams are definitely going down the field. Looks like they're taking a little bit extra time. I'm sure that's because of COVID.
Johnny Casella, who is another longtime radio announcer back when 99.9 did football games, he was playing for Athol in that renewed drive when they played in 1944, that was the first time they had played since 1927. So there was a big gap where Orange High did not have a football team. Well, when they restarted again, they've had football ever since.
So we are the start of the second quarter, and again, we're all tied up at nothing here, which has definitely been a defensive type game. As we said earlier last week, Athol was up 32-0 at the end of the first quarter.
So we play 12-minute quarters in high school football, and Mahar started to go out of the huddle, but he gets the whistle blown. Mahar's lineup is Colin Boyle, Jacob Karen, Jacob Tenney, Jacob Murphy, 3 Jacobs in a row, Noah Chabot, Eli Spencer, Brian Scorb, Matt Lysak, Luke Melanson, and Aiden Savigny, all seniors. And you also see one freshman who gets a lot of playing time, Noah Bailey. On defense, I've seen number 22, Caleb Lemke, and number 23, Dominic Chofley.
3rd down and 6 here for Mahar.
Okay, back to pass again as Chabot throws off his back foot, has a receiver, Eli Spencer, over the middle, tackled at the 50-yard line.
That was a nice play. There wasn't a bear around him. It looked like there was probably 3 bear receivers. They were all probably 3 or 4 yards from him, pretty much wide open for him. Gives a new set of downs for Mahar here at midfield.
Yeah, it was a good play action pass. He floated a pass over the middle, and like you said, Eli Spencer was wide open, came down with the catch, and got forward to the 50-yard line. So they're right at the midfield stripe.
1st down and 10 for Mahar at midfield.
Just underway here in the second quarter. Nothing your ball game. In motion goes Savigny. Now here's Murphy up the middle of the fullback, fights ahead and gets about 3 or 4 yards. I'd say give him 3 yards.
Yep, they gave him 3 yards on that. He was carrying 3 or 4 bears on his back to get 3 yards on that. We've got 11:15 left to go here in the second quarter. We've got a tie game, 0-0. Clock is running. We've got 11 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. After the nice running play by the fullback, got about 3 yards on that. So it'll be 2nd down and about 7 on the Athol side of the field. Looks like they gave him the 48-yard line.
Okay, so they break the huddle, and Eli Spencer is split out to the near side left. You got Tenney and Murphy in the backfield, and Savigny on the right side wing. And quarterback goes back to pass, throws deep downfield. He has Spencer again, and it looks like it's picked off by Athol, number 32, Jake Smith. The ball was a little underthrown, and he was headed for Eli Spencer, but Athol had something else to say about that and stepped ahead and caught that ball.
Looked like they were waving it off originally, but they said that he did catch it. It's an interception by the Bears, and it looks like they are giving him the 15-yard line to start this after the interception.
So I mentioned the Minutemen, the old Orange High Minutemen. Speaking of the Minutemen, a lot of people in Athol and Orange go to college over at UMass. It's a local college, and they're playing in the national championship game in college hockey. I did stay up to a little bit past midnight to watch them beat Minnesota Duluth in overtime. You know, I'm a graduate of UMass, so I'm not going to go to bed before that game was over. At least it wasn't the 5 overtime game that Minnesota, Duluth, and North Dakota were in the regional finals. So anyways, back to football. Caleb Cox under center and gives to Lutz. Lutz is able to get through and get at least 7 yards on that play.
Looks like he got it up to about the 21-yard line, so it'll be a 6-yard gain for Athol. We've got 2nd down and about 4. Clock is running at 10:15 left to go here in the second quarter after the interception by Athol.
And Keegan Lutz, he got a lot of playing. He was the starting quarterback when he was a freshman, number 22. And then the following year, he switched to running back when Caleb Cox came in as a freshman quarterback.
2nd down and about 4.
Okay, and here's the give to Lutz again. He cuts over the middle, and he has wrapped up by Jake Tenney, and he has a 1st down. It's about a 5-yard gain.
Yep, that'll be a new set of downs for Athol. Got about 5 yards on that. It'll be 1st down and 10 for Athol at they're about their own 30-yard line. We've got 9:45 left to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, this Athol team has vastly improved from last year. They got twice as many players on the roster as last year, and they're playing some very good defense. I think they had 3 interceptions last week against Franklin County Tech. So, okay, Pottinger split out to the near side right, and Cox gives the handout to Jake Smith over to the left side. He's able to get past the line of scrimmage, still on his feet, still going, brings a couple tacklers down. And he's got himself a first down, 11-yard gain for number 32, Jake Smith.
Yeah, that was a nice run. He got about 8 yards on that. He got what he needed plus about 2 yards. So it'll be a new set of downs for Mahar at about their 35-yard line they're giving it.
Yeah, I'd say one of the biggest improvements from last year to this year of Athol is their lineman play. Is last year they were starting a lot of young kids on the offensive line. And it was just they were getting overpowered a lot, but they're a little bigger, a little stronger. Some few new players on the team. Gonna give a shout out to some of the players on our crew who come here every week to help us out. We got Justin Holden, Rick Gilmet,
Jake Movsesi, and Carol
Carol Corville is our director. She's the executive director of AOTV. Basically has been running this operation since 1995 and done an excellent job. So we got Evan Hansen. Of course, I'm Brian Gamache alongside Ken Purdy, and Shane Brown is at the studio, and Shane produces our broadcast.
Looks like there was a penalty on the play that we didn't catch, which moved them all the way up to the Mahar 45-yard line.
Okay, Cox and shotgun, back to pass, throws a wobbly high pass, and it is caught. First down, Noah Pottinger. He's the tallest guy in the field, and he used every ounce of it to outleap Aiden Savigny. Shane, you better get a replay of that play.
15-yard line. This is the deepest any team has been in the game so far. New set of downs for Athol. Will be first and 10 at about their 15-yard line after that huge pass play. Clipping.
Okay, so Athol's got to about the 15-yard line. It's the closest either team has got the scoring so far. And okay, Pottinger split out to the left, and you got Cox under center, and he's got here's Lutz going to the right side. He's met up at the line of scrimmage, but he's able to shake off a tackler, but a couple more were right there to bring him down. Looks like number 42, Jake Murphy, was in on the tackle.
We're not sure how much they're giving him. Looking at the far side of the field, he didn't gain much, but you know how our perception is on that.
It looks like he's may have even lost a yard. So he got hit up in the backfield. Zabel Keegan, his 4-year varsity starter, was able to spin off and get a couple yards.
Yeah, the Mahar defense has been in the backfield all day like they have been the last few games.
Okay, you got Pottinger split out to the left. And under center is Cox, and he's got Fountain behind him. Now the give is to Shea Brennan. And on the end around, gets about 5 yards. So I think Shea Brennan wore a different jersey number last year. He played a lot on defense and some running back because Lutz was injured most of last year. He only played a couple games last year, which with a depleted roster, that really hurt not having their guy who started ever since his freshman year, but he's back, and Brennan gets a carry and is able to get, looks like it's going to be 3rd and 6, so he got 4 yards on that.
And Athol just called a timeout, and so we've got a 0-0 game right now, and we've got Athol threatening for the first time. This is the deepest penetration any team has gotten in this football game.
So Athol had a good possession. I think their first possession of the game, they got it down to around the 25-yard line. Yep. And then unfortunately went backwards after that. Then there was a 4th down play that was incomplete, 4th down pass. And, it's basically been a stalemate ever since, but new possession now, and they're within pretty close striking distance. Here We're here in the second half. 0-0 our score here at O'Brien Field in Athol.
Like we were
saying,
saying,
the field was named after a longtime football and baseball coach and athletic director, Thomas. They call him TJ O'Brien. And he was the head coach of Athol's 1932 undefeated football team. some more worthless trivia for you.
We've got 7:23 left to go here in the second quarter. Athol's coming out of a timeout.
All right, so 3rd down and 6, 7 minutes and 23 seconds left to go. And the second quarter of play, 0-0 our ball game between Athol and Mahar. And the shotgun is Caleb Cox, and Cox goes and pitches it right to Keegan Lutz, and the Mahar defense was right there to meet him. Blue shirts everywhere.
Yep, doesn't look like they're giving him any gain on the play.
You got Jacob Karen right on him. You have Kachofli, who wrapped them up. Jim Woodward ought to be happy when he's got 4 blue shirts around that football at the line of scrimmage.
And we'd like to remind you that you are watching Athol football on AOTV channel 1301, which is simulcasting on WVAO LP Athol 105.9. And we are also broadcasting on our Facebook page. And you can watch it on YouTube. And of course, you can always watch it on AOTV 13.
Actually, I don't think it's on YouTube, but you can go to AOTV13.org, and they have the games on when you look for on demand. So back to passes, Caleb Cox, and he's being chased and sacked. A kind of a double sack, you say, is, I see, you haven't called his name yet. There's number 84, Dan Kidwell, on that tackle alongside number 66, Jacob Karen. And Karen made the original tackle to slow him up. He wrapped him up. He kind of bounced off of him. Cox was fighting that, but number 84, Dan Kidwell, was able to finish the job.
Yeah, Athol had no chance there. They were right in the backfield, and he had nowhere to go. He was just swallowed up. So it'll be a turnover on downs from Mahar. 1st and 10 on about their 23-yard line.
So
6:23 left to go here in the second quarter.
So Athol's been moving the ball, but when they get close, the Mahar defense is able to step it up. So we've got 3 wide receivers split out to the right. Chabot back to pass, throw over the middle. It is picked off. It is intercepted, and going to take it back for 6 points is Caleb Cox, number 14. And I believe that happened a couple times last week, too, with a pick 6.
And just like that, Athol is on the board after turning the ball over on downs. Mahar throws an interception for a pick 6. There was no one around him, no one to even tackle him. So that was a pick 6 for Athol. So we've got a score of 6-0, 6:14 left to go here in the second quarter. That was a nice run back, 23-yard interception for a touchdown.
Well, it was a pass out to the flat. Chabot was back to pass, and he was trying to hit a receiver, but, the other quarterback, Caleb Cox, was able to just read that perfectly. And when he had that intercepted, there was nothing between him and the end zone. So his first touchdown of this ball game. Cox is going to hold. They're going to go for the extra point kick. Here's the snap. Ball down. Kick is up, and kick is good by number 34, Dylan Fountain. So in the second quarter of play, with 6:14 left to go in the second quarter, Athol draws first blood. It's the Athol Bears 7, the Mahar Senators nothing.
And just like that, the game turned on a dime. As we've been saying, the Mahar defense has really been holding Athol, that bend don't break, as they always say. And pick 6 later, it is now 7-0 Athol Bears up over the Mahar Senators as we come back downfield.
So it looks like Mahar's lately been kind of going more towards the air attack. I know they're more of a running team, although Chabot, it's his 3rd year being Mahar's quarterback, and, had some success in the last drive, but, they've been coming out throwing a lot, and that was just a pass kind of over in the flats, and if somebody picks it off, then forget it. Nothing between him and the end zone other than green grass.
Yeah, it was definitely a nice pick, like you said. There was no one around him. He grabbed that ball and he was gone. There was no chance for Mahar to even stop it.
I think they had at least 1, maybe 2 touchdowns just like that last game against Tech. Now Fountain kicks it off, and it looks like somebody was offsides because they got the flag down. And he's doing the offsides mark. So somebody beat the kicker to the kick.
And it looks like they are backing him up.
I think, Okay, it was a little bit, not just somebody beat him to the kick, it's just when you go to kick off, you got to wait for the official to blow the whistle, signaling that they can start the play. They were a little anxious. Of course, they got excited. They got the lead.
Yep.
As I mentioned, last year Mahar won both contests. The previous 3 years before that, there was a split contest where Athol wins one, Mahar wins the other. Mahar won both of them last year.
So we've got 6:14 left to go here in the first half. Athol is kicking off.
And here's the kick by Fountain. And Eli Spencer, it goes past him. And now he picks it up and he's going to start running close to his old goal line, shakes off a tackler, and is able to get it to a little bit before the 20-yard line, it looks like. So Mahar's going to take over with 6:07 left to go in the second quarter. And the Athol Bears are up 7-0.
Looked like he let that ball go by him and he was trying to get it. And
It's not like a punt. You actually have to pick it up here once it goes past 10 yards.
Looks like they gave it to him at the 10-yard line.
I think he was hoping that the ball would roll out of bounds and then it would just take to the 20. When he realized it wasn't going to happen, it's like, oh no, I got to pick this up and run.
First down and 10 for Mahar at their own 10-yard line.
So Spencer and Murphy split out to the left. Chabot back to pass. He's rolling. Looks like he's going to take it and run it himself. He does, and gets about 3 yards. See Casillas on the tackle, along with Jake Smith.
After that 3-yard gain, it'll be second down and about 7 for Mahar on about their 13-yard line. Give them 3 yards on that clock running. 5:40 left to go here in the second quarter.
All right. I'm sure Bill LaRose is going to be excited for this team because last year was just such a, a down year. They went 1-10, and there was one game against Frontier. They had to forfeit because they didn't have enough players, but they fixed that problem this year. They got 25 players, and they're played 2 strong games. So, okay, here you go. The handoff to the right side. Jake Tenney gets stopped for no gain by number 79, Manny O'Leary, the co-captain.
Looks like they're giving him a loss on that. The 3 yards they just gained, they just lost it. So it'll be third down and 10 for Mahar after that 3-yard loss. Again, clock is running. We got 4:55 left to go here in the second quarter with the Athol Bears up on the Mahar Senators 7-0 after a pick 6 from Mahar.
All right, Brian Scorb leaves his team out of the huddle, and to the split out to the right is Luke Melanson. Chabot is under center. Tenney's on the wing. Now back to pass is Chabot, and he's rolling, and he's going to take it himself and run again, and close to the first down. The flags are coming down. Looks like that's going to be a late hit out of bounds.
Yes, it is. About 3 flags went flying on that. We'll wait for the call, but that's what we believe it is. He was really close to a first down anyways without this 15-yard penalty that they're going to tack on. Let's see if that's what they call it as. Waiting for the official call from the refs on the field.
Yeah, so he's marking it off, so it looks like.
That's a 15-yarder, so he got about to the 20 and tack on 15 for the late hit on that.
Yes, one of these things you're not totally sure if he's got. It's not like the NFL. The quarterback's always going to give himself up unless you got a Cam Newton on your team. So, maybe he was thinking he was going to turn back and run for a few yards, but it was a definite late hit out of bounds. It was a pretty hard hit, but it's a 15-yard penalty. And Mahar has the ball at, I want to say, the 35, 36-yard line. Timeout's called.
Looks like Mahar called that timeout. So I believe they've got one more timeout left to go here. And Athol has 2, I believe. So we've got 4:22 left to go here in the first half with the Athol Bears up on the Mahar Senators 7-0. like to remind you that we will be here next week. Athol will be hosting the Greenfield Green Wave, who we had seen a few weeks ago. You'll be able to watch that game right here on AOTV 1301 and listen to it on WVAOLP Athol 105.9. And there is a time change for that game. Pre-game will start at 3:45 with the game kicking off at 4 o'clock, not the 6 o'clock start time that we had anticipated.
Yeah.
So,
they got some problems with the lights. One of the light towers was not working, so we're going back to old school, playing during the day.
and I'm sure this time of year the teams appreciate it because they can be done when
They can be cold at night in the months of March and April. They're transition months.
Yep.
Last week it was about 30 degrees and very windy, and the week before it was about 50, 60 degrees, but extremely windy. This is the best weather we've had this football season.
Yep, definitely great weather for football.
Here Chabot is going to roll the pass as a complete receiver to Melanson across the 50 to the 45.
Oh,
he lost the ball, but he found it. Now the referee the official throws the flag. That's Danny. I used to play golf with him. I know him.
So at the end of that, we have a penalty. We're seeing what the penalty is on that, but he fumbled the ball as he was going to the ground,
but came back with it, so he fell back on it. So
wait
is that trying to advance the ball? I don't see any signal. Let's see.
They're backing up Mahar.
Oh, chop block. So they're still going to give him the first down because it happened after, towards the end of the play after he got it. So they got the first down. The ball's at the 48-yard line just before midfield. Mahar is heading towards the scoreboard side of the field.
Got about 4 minutes left to go here in the second quarter with the Athol Bears up on the Mahar Senators 7-0. The only score of the game was a pick six by Athol.
Caleb Cox with 25-yard interception return. So here's the handoff, and it goes to Jake Tenney, and he gets met up well before the line of scrimmage. Good play by Athol.
Lost about a yard on that play, so it'll be second down and 11 for Mahar. They've met him right at the line, lost a little bit, so it'll be second down and 11 for Mahar at about their 47-yard line. We've got 3:25 left to go here in the second quarter. On a beautiful day here for football. I'd like to say it's late October, but we are early spring.
In this fall 2 season, even though it's technically spring. Okay, so now we got Athol player jumped. That's Vinny Gordon.
Offside? No, it's offsides on Athol. Athol jumped. Marking off the 5 yards, it'll be second down and 6 after the penalty, which brings Mahar to the Athol side of the field. So it'll be second down and 6 at about the Athol 48-yard line.
Difference rule from previous years is once the defender jumps, they blow it dead before they let him give it a chance to get back. But part of those federation rules. And there's flags all over the place again when they went to snap the ball.
All start on Mahar.
So you gain a few yards for Athol jumping off sides, and then Mahar gives it back the next play on a false start. That's football for you.
After this penalty is marked off, it'll be second down and 11 again for Mahar after their exchange of penalties. You had Athol go offsides the play before, and Mahar just gave it right back with a false start. 2:48 left to go here in the first half. Athol up 7-0 on the Mahar Senators.
And that last play there with the big hit, I think that was Manny O'Leary, number 79, had that, hit the Mahar player about a few yards behind line of scrimmage a couple plays ago. Okay, Mahar's in the I formation with Jake Tenney, the tailback. The fullback is Murphy. Now play action pass again. Here's Chabot rolling, and he's going to take it himself, and he's going to run again. And still on his feet, he's got a first down, and Moore steps out of bounds. Actually, where they have him, it's very close to the first down, but the linesman is giving him the first down. So Noah Chabot showing off with the running ability.
Looks like he got it down all the way to about the 40-yard line.
So it looked like kind of a play action pass, and he's rolling over to his left, and then doesn't see a receiver open, but sees plenty of open green grass and decided to take advantage of it.
Looks like he avoided a tackle and was able to get the first down on that. So we got 2:12 left to go here in the second quarter. Mahar just got a new set of downs. It'll be 1st and 10 for Mahar on the Athol 40-yard line.
We got Spencer split out to the left, and Tenney and Murphy in the backfield. And here's a handoff to Tenney. On the left side, he's got plenty of room. He's going. He might go the distance to the 20, the 10. He's out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
I want to say at about the 15, 13-yard line is Jake Tenney, the 1,000-yard rusher from last year.
Nice 23-yard gain for Tenney.
Excellent blocking by the right side of that offensive line. It paved a very big open hole on there. He had plenty of space. I'm going to give the credit on that block to number 77, Noah Bailey, the freshman starting right tackle.
And now Mahar is threatening late here in the game to score. Answer the pick six from Athol. We've got 2:04 left to go here in the second quarter.
And we got Savigny and Melanson split out to the right. Tenney and Murphy in the backfield behind Chabot. And in motion goes Savigny, gives to Savigny left side, squirts through, and he's close to about the 2-yard line. That's Aiden Savigny, number 24, who was actually the starting quarterback 2 years ago for the first half of the season.
He was very, very close to a touchdown. It looks like they got him down at about the 2-yard line, so it'll be 1st and goal for Mahar at the Athol 2-yard line. 1:44 left to go, clock running. Athol up 7-0 on Mahar.
Yet how close they are to the end zone. I wouldn't be surprised if they pounded up the middle with Jake Murphy, number 42, the big fullback. So we've got 3 wide receivers set. We've got Savigny and Melanson to the far side right, and Spencer to the near side left. And up the middle, this is Jake Tenney. And he is in for the touchdown.
Touchdown, Mahar. So Mahar was able to answer the pick six. So going into the point out there, right now we've got a 7-6 ball game left to 1:15 left to go here in the second quarter. As we've seen, Mahar's probably going to go for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, Kyle Notre, number 10, kicked a lot of the extra points last year, but I do not see him trotting out to the field. I think that they're going to go for the 2-point conversion. You know, they did a lot with last year with Kyle Notre, number 10. Haven't seen him kick a ball this year. I think he was injured the first game. I didn't see him in uniform the first game. He was there the second game, but both teams went for 2. Okay, you got Spencer split out to the left. You got Tenney and Murphy in the backfield. And then here's Tenney. Now it's going to be Savigny going around the corner. The ball is loose. He's not going to get in there. So the 2-point conversion is no good.
No, it looked like we just about had it and then fumbled the ball as he was going to the ground.
Okay, so your score with 1:15 left to go in the second quarter, the Athol Bears 7, the Mahar Senators 6 here in high school football on AOTV Sports.
Mind you, we are broadcasting on AOTV 1301, which is simulcasting at WVALP Athol 105.9. Got 1:15 left to go here. Mahar just answered the pick six from Athol, but we're unable to convert on the 2-point conversion, so gives us our score of 7-6 right now in favor of the Athol Bears.
Yeah, Dylan Fountain, number 34 for Athol, the junior. I don't remember him from last year's team, but you know he does the kickoffs and he boomed an excellent extra point, and that's the difference in that ball game. But not an awful lot of offense, but 7-6, and the Athol's touchdown was on an interception return for a touchdown. But so far, Athol is leading this ball game. So again, what a difference a year makes. Last year, Mahar won the first game 41-0, the second game 43-6, and this year it's 7-6, soon to be halftime.
1:15 left to go here in the second quarter.
And Notre with the kick. It's spinning from side to side. And Fountain picks that ball up. And refs are blowing the whistle. Did it go out? Did he touch out of bounds? Maybe his foot was out of bounds. And Bill LaRose has his hands to the side saying, what happened? Why'd you blow the play dead?
Let's see what there's a penalty or what the call is.
Was it an inadvertent whistle? I've seen that happen before. Nothing you can do about it when he blows it dead, other than,
Other than the coaches complaining.
Yeah, Bill LaRose is puzzled as to what happened. He might have had his hand on it's tough to see the lines out here. He may have had his foot on the out of bounds line when he was picking up the ball. But, they're going to call the kickoff out of bounds and they're going to re-kick. So that's what's going on. They're going to re-kick as the ball went out of bounds. 1 minute, 15 seconds left to go.
Which is a lot different from last week when they had to hold the ball often because the ball kept being blown off the tee.
Exactly. Nice, bright, sunny day at about 72 degrees here in Athol. So no tray is coming on for the kick. The kick is up and away, end over end. And Fountain, as the ball is bouncing again, he's going to let it go out of bounds again. It's the second consecutive time.
So they will start on their 35.
So are they going to make him kick it a third time? Doesn't look like it, as I see No Tray picking up the tee and running back to the far sideline.
We've got 1:15 left to go here in the second quarter of a 7-6 ball game.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns so far. It was the interception return for a touchdown for Caleb Cox and the extra point by Dylan Fountain. And Mahar side, Jake Tenney had a 2-yard touchdown dive, but the 2-point conversion was no good. We got ourselves a 7-6 ball game with 1 minute, 15 seconds left to go in the second quarter of play here in Athol. So Kane Young, the center, leads the team out of the huddle. Number 10, Noah Pottinger, split out to the right. Caleb Cox under center, and Cox gives it to Lutz. Lutz coming out to the outside. Looks to have some room, spins around, and gets tackled for about a 4-yard gain. Maybe a little more. Looks like he got maybe about 7 yards.
Yep, it looks like it was a 7-yard gain, so it'll be second down and about 3 for Athol. They're giving him the 42-yard line. So it'll be second down and 3 with the clock running. We got 47 seconds left to go here in the first half. 1 point is our difference. Second down and 3.
Okay, they're in the wing tee. And Jake Smith gets the ball, comes around to the left side, cuts back up the middle, breaks a few tackles, still going, brought down by Savigny and Tenney across the 50 to the 45, and that's a first down. And 25 seconds left to go until halftime.
Athol calls a timeout. Looks like it's a full minute timeout, as clock is now showing how long timeouts are.
Yeah, and you hear Jim Woodward yelling from all the way across the field, saying, come on, you got to make the tackles. They had him wrapped up. They had him kind of stopped. They didn't wrap him up, and he was able to squirt through and get some more yards.
Yep. I'm sure if
keeping your feet going and keep fighting for extra yards, you can get an extra 3 or 4 yards almost every play doing that.
Yep.
That's the difference between a good running back and an average one. Keeps his feet going, keeps pushing.
And it's really hard to get some running yards on this Mahar defense. They've been extraordinary. That, like we were saying earlier, the whole bend, don't break.
And all their games so far have been low-scoring games.
Yep.
And they allowed 2 touchdowns the first game, 1 touchdown the second game, 1 touchdown on defense so far today. But, Athol's had some good offensive plays. They've done a lot to move the ball up and down the field. Okay, we got 25 seconds left to go until halftime. Athol has the ball at the Mahar 25-yard line. Noah Pottinger split out to the right, and you got Cox under center. And now he's back to pass. Cox throws to Pottinger, makes the catch, and brought down by Tenney and Spencer. That's a first down.
They're out of timeout.
The 30-yard line.
They tried to call a timeout, and they couldn't because they're out of timeout.
Once the chain's set.
Looks like they're going to spike the ball.
Yep, they did, but the chains weren't set yet, so I'm wondering why that wasn't a penalty. They're not supposed to go until the chains are set. Supposed to wait for the official's whistle. The clock didn't start till the chains are set. I guess no harm, no foul.
19 seconds left to go here in the first half. Athol driving after that completion. They are out of timeouts.
So Pottinger, that's his second catch today, and they're both very important catches. One he had earlier was a deep one to the open field. This one's pass out to the sideline, a little bit shorter, but it was an important pass as I got them about 20-yard gain. So Pottinger split out to the left. Cox in the shotgun. Back to pass. Cox kind of rolling. Melanson has him, and he had him, but he got through. Throws complete to Jake Smith and tackled by Tenney. So Melanson had him, but was not able to wrap him up, and Athol calls a timeout with 4.5 seconds left to go. So, we had Cox was rolling around. Melanson had him in his grasp, but Cox was able to get past him and roll and complete the pass to Jake Smith, number 32. Jake Smith was very important to this team last year. He was playing, he was the primary running back in the absence of Keegan Lutz from last year. And we saw a lot of Manny O'Leary, number 79, played a lot of fullback about half the games last year. Now they got some more reinforcements with Fountain, and they were able to put O'Leary back on offensive line. It's been a big difference this year, having a much stronger line this year. And that's really made a difference in how they've been playing this year.
We got 4 seconds left to go here in the first half, so they're going to have to
Cox in the shotgun, 2 receivers, Pottinger and Lutz to the left and Smith to the right. Now back to pass is Cox, and this is going to be the last play of the half. He's being chased, and he's thrown over the middle, and it's caught. Caught by Jake Smith, number 32. That is a touchdown for Athol.
With no time left on the clock.
15-yard touchdown catch from number 32, Jake Smith.
And as we were saying, they've got a pretty good kicker to kick the extra point here.
That's something else. And the second half with a very powerful statement there with the pass over the middle. And, he had about 3 blue shirts right around that ball, but the white shirt is the one that caught it, and that was Jake Smith of Athol. And now we're going to have extra point kick by Dylan Fountain. The ball down. The kick is up. It is blocked. And there's no running it back for 2 points here, but it went forward anyways. But the extra point kick is no good. But we are at halftime. The new and improved Athol Bears playing a very strong game on both sides of the ball, and they have the lead with the score at halftime. Athol Bears 13, the Mahar Senators 6.
And we'd like to remind you that Athol deferred in the first, so they will get the ball to start the third quarter here. So we are going to take a break right now. We are at halftime here. We've got 13-6 in favor of the Athol Bears. So we will be taking a few minutes here, and we will be back with you in a little bit. And welcome back to Athol football. We are coming out of the halftime with the Athol Bears up on the Mahar Senators 13-6. Difference right now, Athol scored with no time left on the play and on a pick six, and Mahar answered the pick six with a touchdown of its own, but was able to convert on the 2-point conversion. And now we're having the warm up. They've got 3 minutes left to go, and the game will start.
Yeah, so first quarter of play was basically a stalemate. You know, both teams would go maybe a couple yards, maybe get a first down, and turnover on downs, a couple punts, but really it was played mostly in the middle of the field. And in the second quarter, saw a lot more scoring, a little bit more exciting. It started out with Noah Chabot threw a pass in the flats more towards the sideline. It was picked off by Caleb Cox, the other quarterback, number 14, and he runs it all the way back for a touchdown. And Dylan Fountain, I found out that he played soccer last year. That's why we didn't see him on the football field last year. He does the extra point kicks, booted a nice one, and he's also the fullback in this game. And it's 7-0 Athol. So then a few minutes later, towards the end of the second quarter, Mahar had a good long drive. They got the ball all the way down to the 2-yard line, and then there was a dive up the middle with Jake Tenney, scored a touchdown with 1:15 left to go. And until halftime, they had a 2-point conversion run with Savigny, but he didn't make it across the goal line, so no extra point in that play. And at the buzzer, there were 4 seconds left to go. Athol was driving. Caleb Cox rolled to the left-handed quarterback, rolled to his right. He had some room. He threw a pass to the end zone. And who came down with it? Number 32, Jake Smith of Athol. The extra point kick was blocked. And at halftime, the score is 13-6 in favor of the Athol Bears. And I'll tell you what a difference a year makes. You know, they got a new twice as many people on the roster. They got a new nickname. They got a year more experience, some more players coming out, especially juniors and seniors. And this is just a much improved team from last year. And this rivalry game that fortunately these seniors were able to play this academic school year and this fall 2 season. It's Athol is up 13-6, and we got 12 minutes on the clock, because that's how much the quarters are 12 minutes long, and we're about ready to start the third quarter of play.
And Athol did win the toss to begin the game, and they deferred. So they will be receiving the ball to start here in the third quarter. I'd like to remind you that we will be back here next week, 4/16 on Friday, with the Athol hosting the Greenfield Green Waves. Game time will start at 3:45, kickoff at 4 o'clock.
Okay, Kyle Notre, number 10, is going to kick it off for Mahar. Now, last time he had a couple kicks go out of bounds. Here's kind of a spiral, low liner, and it's stopped ahead by Athol. It's going to be at about the 35, 37-yard line. That was number 25, Anthony Vescovi, the senior for Athol.
That was a line drive kick, and he had it and had to fall right on it because it hit him in the chest, so he had to jump on it. So it'll be 1st and 10. Looks like they're giving him about the 39-yard line.
Yeah, they did not want to do what they did last time. They kicked off, and they had 2 kicks going out of bounds. So This time they just booted it, just a low line drive kick from Kyle Notre. Okay, let's see what Athol has. We got to the right side, we got Pottinger split out to the right, the first-year wide receiver. And here's the dive. It's over to the side, and he's going to the right side as Dylan Fountain got a first down, brought down. Oh, he's still on his feet. He was slowed up by Jake Tenney, but finally brought down by Caleb Lemke and number 84, Dan Kidwell, to across the field to the 30-yard line. So that's about a 20-yard run.
Yeah, that was a nice
run. But they're bringing it back. There's a flag on the field.
What's the flag? Holding against Athol.
Didn't see the official. Yep, that's exactly what it is. So
they'll back him up 10 yards on that. So it'll be 1st down and 20 after that nice gain.
So Dylan Fountain is, again, he played soccer last year. Now he's playing football. And he was able to get the handoff and did an off tackle the right side, went to the, a little bit to the right of the end, and was able to get, a 30-yard run, but it's all for naught because it wound up being a penalty minus 10 yards.
So we've got first down and 20 after the penalty is marked off for Athol.
Pottinger split out to the left side. Cox under center. Cox again gives to Fountain. Fountain gets through again, and he's across to the 50-yard line. That's a first down. It's about a 20-yard run for Dylan Fountain.
Made up all the 20 yards and got an extra. So it'll be first down and 10 for Athol at midfield after that big run.
Athol has come out strong with two big runs. Unfortunately for them, the first one was called back due to a penalty, but they're much improved last year on the offensive line and able to open up some holes for the running backs.
First down and 10 for Athol at midfield.
And Cox gives the handoff, and this is to number 22, Keegan Lutz, and he gets about 3 yards on the right side and gets tackled by number 66, Jake Karen.
Looks like they're giving him about 4 yards. So it'll be second down and 6 for Athol at about the 46-yard line. As we were saying earlier, it's really tough to see where they're spotting the ball because of the field. There's really no paint to determine where the lines are.
It's there. I don't know if they had repainted it before this game, but, just look across the field. The orange markers have like each 10-yard marked off. So much easier at Mahar when you got the turf and it's very clearly labeled. But, hey,
Second down and 6 for Athol.
Okay, Pottinger split out to the left. And back to now it's a handoff to Jake Smith. The flag is across the field and is able to get through the line of scrimmage. Looks like it's a first down, but I think this one's coming back.
See what they're calling.
See the flag on the left sidelines across the field. It was almost exactly after when the running back was still in the backfield.
False start on Athol.
Yep, probably somebody was lined up across the line of scrimmage.
So it'll back them up 5 yards, make it second down and 11. Brings Athol back to their own side of the field.
So they let the play go on us entirely. So it's got to be something like, it had to be something like an illegal formation. So Athol has come out. Unfortunately, they've had some penalties with the plays themselves. They, seem to be getting a lot of yards every time they touch the ball in the running.
Yep.
So they're dominating this line of scrimmage to start the second half.
So we got second down and 11 after the penalty has been marked off.
Now Pottinger split out to the right, and Lemke is guarding him. And Cox hands off to Lutz. It's a double handoff. Here's Lutz coming up to the right side, and he's got Tenney chasing after him. He's got a first down and more. And he's able to him and number 34, Jaden Carey, in on the tackle.
Another big run play for Athol.
Excuse me, that's 84, Kidwell.
They have been running the ball pretty effectively. 3 big runs. 2 of them were called back on penalties. This one is not called back.
So far, every time they've touched the ball, they've gotten 10-plus yards. Unfortunately, 2 of them were called back due to penalties. So Mahar's got to step it up on defense.
And we've got the clock winding down. We've got 9:25 here in the third quarter with the Athol Bears up on the Mahar Senators 13-6.
That's even worse than saying Athol Red Raiders. Got to get used to it, the Athol Bears. Right. Under center is Cox and gives the Fountain, the fullback, up the middle. He's tackled by Colin Boyle. Ball looks to be loose, but the refs are calling him that he was already stopped. So it's going to stay Athol football.
Looked like he had gotten rid of that before he hit the ground, but the refs are saying that he didn't.
They already blew the whistle. So I can see where they spot it. They haven't shown where the marker is. Yeah, it's got to be at least a gain of 5. Looks like about 4. So it's going to be
second down and 6.
Second down and 6. Athol coming out, running very effectively. Just underway here in the second half. 13-6 Athol. Okay. Under center is Cox, and Cox hands it off to Lutz. Lutz gets an open hole, but he gets brought down fairly soon by Jake Karen, number 66, the captain. Gets about 3 yards on that gain. It's going to be third down 3.
Yep.
So this is a very important third down for Athol. They ended the first half with a strong statement with that touchdown pass. And they're coming out running here in the third quarter.
Yeah, they've been getting some big chunks of change, but two of them were called back on penalties.
So Kane Young leads his team out of the huddle. The Jacob Rathburn and on the at right tackle. Cox under center and gives to Jake Smith, and he gets stuffed by the Mahar defensive line. Looks like pretty much the entire Mahar defensive line is able to come through on that play.
Looks like they backed it, lost a yard on that, so it'll be 4th down and 4 after the loss of a yard on the play.
Yeah, that's Colin Boyle and Jacob Karen, the two strong defensive linemen. So Melanson was around that play too, and along with Jacob Murphy, but he was tag teamed by Boyle and Karen.
We've got the clock running. We got 7:10 left to go here in the third quarter. 4th down for Athol.
And Pottinger is split out to the left side, and you got Smith on the wing. And now Cox, a pot pass over the middle, and it is caught, and that's going to be a touchdown by number 81, Vinny Gordon.
Yeah,
It's a 23-yard touchdown pass.
Just a little pass over the line. They had a chance to stop him, and he just went in. That makes it a 25-yard touchdown run. 25-yard touchdown pass with the extra point coming up. The Athol Bears are now up on the Mahar Senators 19-6 with either extra point or 2-point conversion coming. The last 2 times they have tried the extra point. First one was successful. The second one was blocked. We'll see what we get here.
And here's Fountain. Lined up for the extra point. The last one was blocked. Here's the snap. The ball is down. The kick is up and hits the goalpost. No good.
So with that, we come back upfield. The Athol Bears are up on the Mahar Senators 19-6. We've got 6:53 left to go here in the third quarter.
Now, read some of the names off for Athol, and we want to give some credit to the linemen. I've seen Evan DeBrule, number 54, Kane Young, the center, number 66, Damian Nahegan, a tackle, number 76, Christian Casillas, number 78, Manny O'Leary, number 79, and oftentimes I've seen subbing in number 51, Jacob Rathburn.
We'd like to remind you that you are watching this football game, Athol football game, on AOTV 1301, which is simulcasting on WVAO LP Athol 105.9 FM, and we are also streaming on our Facebook page.
And on AOTV13.org. And to see this game and any game on demand, just go to AOTV13.org and check the in-demand section. You can go to AOTV's Facebook page where you can pretty much replay any game from the last 3 years at any time. Definitely the last 2 years.
And replays of this game will be held tomorrow, Saturday at 5 p.m. and Sunday at 1.
Okay, Fountain's kick. It's one hopper. Now Eli Spencer has it to the right side, and he gets tackled about the 35-yard line.
Looked like he was trying to get more there, but he had a couple of Bears on him, so it'll be 1st down and 10 for Mahar at about their 35-yard line. We've got 6:45 left to go here in the third quarter.
See Kane Young coming out in that play holding his elbow, so hopefully he's okay. You know, he's a second-year varsity starter. Looks like they're going to have number 77, Joey Grant, is going to sub in. And Pottinger's also holding his elbow, and number 51, Jacob Rathburn, is going to sub in.
Let's see if Mahar can answer another Athol touchdown here. Last time they were able to.
Well, Athol's up by 2 touchdowns, 19-6. And now here's Jake Tenney. Nothing going to the right, so then he goes to his left, and now guess what? He's got some open room. He's trying to outrun Athol and spins around and finally gets brought down by number 22, Keegan Lutz.
It's going to be very, very close to a 1st down.
Give him some credit. He's about a 10. They're going to give it to him about a 10-yard run, but because he ran first to his right, nothing going, running across to his left. He probably ran about 20 yards to get 10 yards, but he's got himself a 1st down.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 for Mahar and about their 45-yard line. We've got 6:20 to go here, clock running in the third quarter.
So Mahar's got to, get some offense going to stay in this game. They're down by 2 touchdowns. on this Athol playing excellent. This very, very improved Athol Bears football team. Oh, somebody jumped.
Yep.
Looks like both sides jumped, but number 77, Noah Bailey, stood up well before everybody else. So the referee is talking who jumped first. So they're going to say the Athol defender caused him to jump. We shall find out. No, they're going to say Athol defender jumped first. It looks like it was
on Athol.
Vinny Gordon, number 81, the defensive end, who scored that last touchdown. He went first, and then, of course, number 77, Noah Bailey, the freshman, went up to block him. Maybe he thought, gee, maybe I forgot the snap count.
So it'll be 1st down and 5 at midfield for Mahar if the penalty's marked off.
Yeah, right at 50-yard line, and we got to split out to the far side right is Luke Melanson. Savigny in motion. The give is to Savigny. He's going to the left side, and he gets some room. I think he's got himself a 1st down.
Looks like they got the 5 yards they needed, so it'll be a 1st down and 10 for Mahar.
You key it on Jake Tenney because he's the 1,000-yard rusher from last year and the 238 yards total offense last week. But, you know, you got to watch out because they're going to give that ball to Savigny too.
We've got 5:30 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Clock running. We've got 19-6. The Athol Bears up on the Mahar Senators.
Again, Melanson split out to the right. You got Murphy. Now here's the dive up the middle, and that's Jake Tenney. Gets 4 yards to the 40-yard line.
Looks like they got about 5 yards, half of what they needed. It'll be 2nd down and 5 for Mahar at the Athol 40-yard line. 5 minutes left to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Oh, I see. Limping on the Athol defense is Keegan Lutz, and hopefully he's okay. He's a very important part of this team, being a 4-year starter. He was the quarterback his freshman year, running back the last couple of years. He's a tough kid. He's going to stay in this ball game. Right, gets Spencer split out to the left, and motion goes Savigny. And here's Jacob Murphy up the middle, breaks a tackle. Tackled finally by Brennan, and guess what? That's another 1st down for Mahar to the 31-yard line.
8 yards on that. So it gives a new set of downs for Mahar. 1st and 10 on about the Athol 33-yard line. 4:35 left to go here in the 3rd quarter.
So 2nd quarter last week, looks like Mahar threw a lot more passes than we're used to seeing. 2nd half, I think Jim Woodward said we got to get back to what we specialize in, and that's running the ball with, you know, Jake Tenney and Jake Murphy. They got to get back in this game because with 4 minutes, 13 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter, Athol is up 19-6. So we got Melanson split out to the right, and you got Savigny in the wing and end around to Savigny. Double hand off to Tenney. That did not work. Vinny Gordon tackles him for a 5-yard loss.
Yeah, they read that play really well. They were right in the backfield and sniffed it out. So that was a 5-yard loss on Mahar. So it'll be 2nd down and 15 at the Athol 36-yard line. 3:40 left to go here in the 3rd quarter.
These double handoffs, it's a good play, but, you know, it takes time to develop, and you had Gordon 5 yards deep in there, and Tenney tried to get around them, but it was too late.
So we've got 3:27. Clock is running. 19-6. Athol Bears are up on the Mahar Senators.
Spencer split out to the near side left. Tenney and Murphy in the backfield. And play action pass at Chabot, and he's going to step up and he's going to run it himself and scoot through and tackle by number 54, Evan DeBrule for Athol.
Looks like he got about 10 yards back of what they needed, so it'll be 3rd down and 5 for Mahar at about the Athol 30-yard line.
And DeBrule's limping off the field.
Left to go here in the 3rd quarter.
DeBrule coming out, and number 77, Joey Grant, the freshman, coming back into the field. So yeah, 19-6 Athol, 2:35 left to go in the 3rd quarter. This renewed, belated Thanksgiving rivalry between the Athol Bears and the Mahar Senators. Brian Gamache alongside Ken Purdy, bringing you high school football again. We'll be here next week too, Athol against Greenfield. So 2 wide out, split out to the right, twins to the right, Savigny and Melanson. Under center is Chabot. Chabot gives to Murphy. Run behind the guard to the left side, gets about 4 yards, so
It's
it's
going to be
close
very,
to a
very
first
close.
down. He didn't quite get there.
No, it looks like he's going to be 4th and 1.
1.5. It's pretty close. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was another dive up the middle. Keep that first down. So it's right at the 20-yard line. 1:40 left to go in the third quarter of play.
With the Athol Bears up on the Mahar Senators 19-6 late in the third quarter.
And you hear the band playing in the background. That's something I've missed the last couple of weeks here in the high school band, but good to see them back out here, and they're spread out 6 feet apart on the bleachers. All right, twin receivers to the right, and motion goes Savigny. Handoff goes to Savigny, and I don't know if he made it. It's going to be close.
Very, very close.
They're going to probably have a measurement.
They say they're going to bring out the paper to see how close that one is.
No signal yet. I think they're going to ask for a measurement, but looks like they kind of met him up at the line of scrimmage.
Very, very close one way or the other.
All right, they're bringing the yard markers.
It's either going to be a turnover on downs or 1st and 10 for Mahar. Very, very close.
Yeah, we can't really see the yard marker, so they needed to get to the 20. Not sure if he made it. Yeah, so it's the orange markers here. Let's see. Going to be close. I don't know if he made it. It's going to be close.
Nope.
Did not make it. It's about
a
half a yard short. Athol takes over on downs.
That was very, very close. Like you said, about 6 inches from the first down. So Athol gets it with the lead of gets the ball with the lead of 19-6. We've got 1:11 left to go here in the third quarter.
So Athol, they're in the driver's seat now. I mean, they just got a defensive stand. Got it first down. They're going to call a timeout. 1:11 left to go in the third quarter. Athol with a big defensive fourth down stand to be up 19-6 in this game.
And as always, we'd like to thank our crew, because without the crew, we would not be able to pull off these games, just the numbers that we need. Of course, we've got Justin Holden, Rick Guillemette, Jake Movsesian, Carol Corville, our executive director, Evan Hansen, Bob Schweinbach running things on the radio side of things, and we've got Shane Brown back in the studio as well. And this is Ken Purdy. Alongside with me is Brian Gamache. We'd like to thank all of our volunteers for helping us at these football games.
Yeah, glad we were able to get a football season in on here. So I was wondering, when I first read in the papers that they were going to try to have a season, it was originally said February and March, which seemed kind of early, but they delayed the start of regular spring sports like baseball and softball and track, so they could have fall too in the months of March and April. On there, we saw the girls soccer team practicing behind the press box over in the field behind the football field. It's an abbreviated 4-game season. They're only playing local teams in Franklin County plus Athol, but at least these seniors get to play their senior year.
Yep, and Athol is currently 1-0. As we said, they had the bye week early. They had the first week, and Mahar will have the bye week on the last game of the season, and they are currently 1-1, and they are currently down by 13. So we've got a score of 19-6 in favor of the Athol Bears.
Yeah, and next week, Athol's playing Greenfield, and Mahar is going to play Franklin County Tech. Okay, back to live play, and here's the fullback up the middle. He goes nowhere. Big hit by Jacob Karen, number 66.
Looks like he lost about 3 yards, so it'll be 2nd down and 13 after a 3-yard loss. 57 seconds left to go here in the third quarter, clock running.
And got time for one more play.
Again, Athol is not in a rush to get up to that line with a big lead, so they're as willing to burn off as much time right now as they can.
Yeah, the clock is in their favor. Got one after this play. Will be 1 quarter left to go and a 2-touchdown lead. What a difference a year makes. Much improved Athol team. All right, and here's the running back to the right side, and he gets stopped by the Mahar defense.
Back him up
A lot
another
of blue
3 yards.
shirts.
It'll be
Keegan
third down and
Lutz.
16.
Keegan Lutz is tackled by number 23, Dominic Kachofli.
And that's going to be the end of the third quarter as Athol is happy to let the clock run down to the 00.
So we've played 3 quarters here at Thomas J. O'Brien Field, this renewed Thanksgiving Day 5 months late rivalry. It is the Athol Bears 19, the Mahar Senators 6.
I'd like to remind you that we will be here next week against the Greenfield Green Wave, who we had seen earlier in the season play the Mahar Senators, and they were able to beat the Mahar Senators in that game. Pre-game will start at 3:45 with kickoff at 4 o'clock right here in Athol.
And Mahar will be traveling for their last game of the year at Franklin County Tech. That school is in Turner's Falls. Now, Owen Bayshaw is the quarterback over at Franklin County Tech, who's considered one of the better throwing quarterbacks in the league. I watched on YouTube when Frontier Community Access TV went and had the Frontier against Franklin County Tech game. And that was a close game. It was 12-6, and Jake Dodge of Frontier, the do-it-all back, had 2 running touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
As we said, next week will be Mahar's last game as they have the bye week the week after.
And Athol finishes up the season in 2 weeks at Frontier. And more than likely, you can, I believe you'll be able to watch that game if you go on YouTube on Frontier Community Television. Usually Bear Country does the announcing for Frontier Community Television if they do the games.
So as the teams get set for the final quarter of play here, Athol Bears are leading the Mahar Senators 19-6. We're looking at a third down and 16 right now for the Athol Bears, who, like we said, are just content to sit on the ball right now.
Run out as much clock as you can, but there was 2 very good defensive plays by Mahar to bring it third down and 15. So Mahar is looking to have a big defensive play here and pressure Athol the punt. They're on their own side of the field. But Athol wants a first down now. Back to pass, throw over the middle. Jake Smith is not able to get it. Good defense by Jake Tenney.
Yeah, he potted that ball up in the air, and it looked like it was anyone's ball. Athol players a little bit shaken up.
Yeah, that Smith is hobbling on one leg, so there was a collision as they're all chasing after the ball, and the doctor's helping him off the field. Now he's on 2 feet. He was hopping on 1 foot for a while, but Jake Smith had the touchdown catch right before halftime, and Smith was their lead running back last year, as last year Lutz was injured for a good portion of the season. So he looks to be in some pain right now.
But as
hopefully
warm
he'll
as
be
it
okay.
is outside, it wouldn't surprise me if it's a Charlie horse.
All right, so it's going to be a punt. Noah Pottinger, I think this is only his second punt today. Here's the snap. Here's the end-over-end punt. It's kind of short, and it's bouncing. Takes a good Athol bounce across to the 40-yard line to the 39, and that's where Mahar will take over at their own 39-yard line with 11 minutes and 41 seconds left to go in this ball game. It's 19-6 Athol, so Mahar is looking for 2 touchdowns here in this fourth quarter to tie it up. But Athol has been playing strong defense all game.
Yep, they got to really move the ball here because the clock is now not on their side with 11:40 left to go here in the game.
So yeah, the ball went in the air, very high kicked. And it looked like it was only going to be like a 20-yard punt, but when it hit the ground, it was just bounced another 15 yards.
Took an Athol bounce, that's for sure.
So 4 wide receiver left set. You got Tenney and Spencer to the left, and Savigny and Blanche to the right. Chabot and shotgun with Murphy right behind him. Here's the snap, back to pass. He throws over the middle, has Jake Tenney, and that is a completion. He's able to break the tackle. He's to the 20. He's to the 10, 5. Touchdown, Jake Tenney. We got ourselves a ball game here.
And that's exactly what Mahar needed. Able to answer and coming back upfield, it'll be 12-19 with the extra point /2. And just like that, Mahar is back into it. One play. We've got a score of 19-6, 19-12 in favor of the Athol Bears. Extra point / 2-point conversion will be coming up for Mahar. Jake Tenney took that one, caught the ball, and took it in for 6.
This has been quite an interesting, close back and forth ball game. So trips to the right, we got Murphy and Melanson and Savigny, and Tenney is right next to Chabot. Chabot and shotgun. Here's the snap, and there's a shovel pass to Eli Spencer coming across. He is in for 2 points.
And with that, we now have a score of 14-19 in favor of the Athol Bears. And just like that, Mahar Senators are 1 touchdown away from taking the lead in this game.
A lot of it is on just these, these extra points. I mean, Athol came out kicking the first time and made it. Then they missed their last 2 kicks. Mahar missed a 2-point conversion run the first time, but they got it this time around. So it's a 5-point lead for the Athol Bears. But, Athol has the ball. They're looking to have a drive that chews up a lot of clock and hopefully even for them some points.
That's what they need right now, is to eat some of that time up with a 5-point lead, because they can't afford right now to give the ball back to the Mahar Senators.
Mahar has won the last 3 contests of this rivalry, both of them last year and Thanksgiving the year before. And then the year before that, it was.
And as we like to say, those games were not close.
Not last year's games. 41-0 Mahar, 43-6 Mahar last year, and even Thanksgiving the year before, it was something like 28-0. So here's the kick, end over end, and here is Keegan Lutz, catches about the 20-yard line to the 30, and still on his feet. Jacob Karen, who's been on like every other tackle like all year long, makes that tackle.
Looks like they got it up to about the 35-yard line, so Athol will take over 1st and 10 on their own 35-yard line.
If I had to give a defensive MVP for Mahar in the 3 games we've seen, it would definitely be Jacob Karen, number 66. I think I call his name at almost every tackle, unless
he
it's
is
a pass.
Definitely in the backfield for
Mahar.
He's
A 3-year varsity starter and 2-year captain. He was a captain last year as a junior.
So we've got 11:21 left to go here in the game. We've got a 5-point game right now with the Athol Bears up on the Mahar Senators, 19-14.
They break the huddle. Kane Young is out there playing center, and split out to the right is Noah Pottinger. Then we got Fountain and Lutz in the backfield. And here is the gift to Fountain. The ball is loose. It is loose. It looks like Mahar has it. They do. That is number 4, Luke Melanson.
Just like that, Mahar's got some life to him.
Yeah, that was number 34, Dylan Fountain, who's the junior, first-year football player, played soccer last year, and had the dive off to the right side, and the ball is popped loose, and Luke Melanson, number 4, fell on that football. And Mahar has the ball. It's 4th quarter. It is 11 minutes and 17 seconds left. Athol is up 19-4. Mahar's got some momentum. They had just scored a touchdown. Athol gets the ball back, and Melanson picks up the fumble.
1st down and 10 for Mahar at the Athol 35-yard line.
4 wide receivers set, Melanson and Savigny to the right. Chabot in shotgun, back to passes. Quarterback throws, it's hit and is wobbled. And is it caught by Athol? I think it is.
See what they say. Yes, that was an interception by Athol.
Shea Brennan, number 8. So Noah Chabot back to pass, and he was hit as he threw. There was a kind of a wobbly pass in the air, and Athol comes down with the football. Shea Brennan, who had a couple interceptions last week against Tech, and he comes up with a big defensive play here on the deflection as Chabot's arm was hit as he was throwing forward.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Mahar right there. They had a perfect opportunity to try to get back into this game and take the lead, but they give the ball right back to Athol. We've got 11-11 left to go here in the game after that interception.
So Athol has new life. They're up by 5 points and looking to either score or run out a lot of clock. The new and improved Athol Bears. New nickname, new attitude. Good football playing. Back to pass as Caleb Cox throws deep downfield and to Noah, and it's incomplete. Eli Spencer with a good defensive play, and there's flags on the line of scrimmage. That's usually a holding call.
Let's see what we got.
Because Spencer and Pottinger were both going after the football. I don't think it's a pass interference, plus all the penalties are at the line of scrimmage. Usually indicates a holding.
Looks like they're backing up, and that's exactly looks like what it is. So it looks like they're backing up Athol.
Yep, holding on Athol. You don't want to be the one to give up the sack, so you even see it in the NFL. I mean, Tony Romo says when he's announcing game on CBS, you could call holding in the NFL on every play if you want.
Yep, that's for sure. So we're going to back Athol up 10 yards, so it'll be first down and 20 for Athol at their own 10-yard line. Big loss for Athol right there. We've got 11:04 left to go here in the game.
Yep, first down and 20. Athol's got the ball, and they're deep in their own territory. And you got Lutz and Pottinger split out to the left. And Cox under center. Here's this pitch, and the running back gets wrapped up pretty soon. That looks to be Jake Smith, so he must be okay. He was limping off the field earlier in the game. Looked like he twisted his knee, but it was just a Charlie horse. And he's out there playing now and got tackled after about a couple-yard gain.
Looks like they're giving him a yard. It'll be second down and 19 for Athol after the 1-yard gain on their own 11-yard line.
So, yeah, second down and long. See, a lot of the Athol Bears T-shirts, they have to make up a lot of these new T-shirts. They just changed the nickname about a month ago on there. So they got the new T-shirts out. You might be seeing more Bear logos around campus to replace the old Red Raider.
Second down and 19 for Athol.
Now here's Cox under center, and motion goes Smith. Back to pass as Caleb Cox rolling, throws to Smith, has the catch. Tackled by Chabot.
And it looks like they got it back to the original line of scrimmage, so it'll be third down and 10 for Athol at their own 20-yard line.
So it's a good play. They got about 9 yards on that, but it's third down and 10.
And the biggest thing right now, he was able to stay in bounds, so the clock is running. We've got 9:47 left to go here in the game.
Controlling the clock was Athol's best friend in this game. That's, if anything, I think they've got the advantage on time of possession. So we got Pottinger split out to the left along with Lutz. Cox under center with Fountain right next to him. Cox is in shotgun, rather. Cox is back to pass. He's rolling. He's starting to run. He is going to run. Over the middle, incomplete. And Noah Chabot again is able to bat that ball away from Noah Pottinger, number 10. I've seen a couple of times in this game, the ball's thrown with about 3 blue shirts and 1 white shirt. Yep. And the two touchdowns, it was like the white shirt is the one who came down with it. Noah Pottinger, who I understand also plays basketball, is the tallest guy out on this football field today. And it's kind of like throwing the Randy Moss. Just throw it high, throw it his direction. He'll usually come down with it.
And Noah Chabot was able to break up that play. Like you said, there were 3 Athol players right there. Noah Chabot came out of nowhere to knock that ball to the ground.
And Pottinger is back to punt. Here's the snap. Here comes the punt. And it's a spiraling punt. And it's Jake Tenney. Catches it about the 50-yard line. And he gets tackle, breaks a tackle. He's still going. And finally down at about the 40-yard line. Originally, Gordon had him wrapped up. But he was able to break a tackle and swerve around, get another 5 yards.
So Mahar will start first and 10 on the Athol 40-yard line after the kick. We've got a score here at Athol, 19-14 in favor of the Bears with 9:05 left to go here in the game.
So last possession, Mahar went to the air, and with Noah Chabot was back to pass and got hit as he threw, and it floated into the hands of Shea Brennan, who also had a big interception I think he had 2 interceptions last week against Tech.
And that was after Mahar had recovered the ball on a fumble.
Yeah, seems to be a lot of turnovers in the second half. Anyway, Chabot gives the ball to the big fullback up the middle, and he gets about 8 yards. That's Jacob Murphy, number 42.
So it'll be second down and about 3 for Mahar after that nice run. Again, they are in Athol territory, clock running. We've got about 8:48 left to go here in the game.
So last possession, Mahar went with 4 wide receivers and threw. And they start out with a run. I think they got plenty of time, and Mahar is more specialized in the ground game, so I'm looking to see them keep it on the ground. So Eli Spencer split out to the left, and here's Murphy again, but he gets stopped big time by the big defensive lineman, number 78, Christian Casillas.
No gain on the play makes it 3rd down and 5 for the Mahar Senators.
Casillas, he's at least a 3-year varsity starter. I remember the Thanksgiving Day game 2 years ago, and he was in on almost every tackle, and I was shocked that he wasn't named most valuable lineman or even most valuable player on the game in that game, because he had a great game in that Thanksgiving Day game 2 years ago. Okay, so you get Melanson split out to the near side right. Chabot gives it to Tenney. Athol defensive line comes out big and got him wrapped up with Smith, so it's going to be close. Let's see where they spot it. I know he
far side
kind
judge
of
gave
leaped
it to him.
ahead.
The near side didn't. We're trying to see what they are.
He did not make it. It's about 4th and 1.5.
4th down for the Mahar Senators here. Big 4th down for them.
So Athol had good penetration through the line, was able to get through and able to wrap him up to not get many yards on that play. So 4th and 2, very important part of this game. It's 7:14 left to go in the contest. They're in a tight formation. And Chabot, the quarterback, up the middle himself, he's got a 1st down. Give Athol no chance to penetrate through that line and just right away get the ball. The Tom Brady sneak right up the middle and gets his 2 yards and a 1st down.
So it'll be 1st down and 10. New set of downs for Mahar on the Athol 29-yard line. After that conversion on 4th and about 1.5 yards. We've got the clock running here. 6:50 left to go here in the game.
We got Melanson split out to the near side right. Tenney in the backfield. Here's the toss going to Tenney, and he breaks a tackle, cuts to his left, spins around, still on his feet. With a lot side. He's still up, and he's to the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Jake Tenney.
They had multiple opportunities to stop Jake Tenney, and they just could not do it. And that is a 29-yard run from Jake Tenney. And now the Mahar Senators are up on the Athol Bears 20-19 with the extra point, 2-point conversion coming up.
There's at least 3 guys who could have tackled him on that play. He was stopped before the line of scrimmage, able to spin around, cut more when he's tossed to the right, cuts to the middle. Somebody else could have had him. He squirted through. He's going to the left side, and even when he's 10 yards down the field, somebody else could have gotten him, but he got through and ran for a 30-yard touchdown. So now Mahar has the lead 20-19 with the ever important extra point going, and as they have all season long, it looks like they're going to go for a 2-point conversion. I don't see Kyle Notre coming onto the field, and he did the kicking last year.
They're going for the 2-point conversion in this 1-point
Spencer
game.
Split out to the left. You got Tenney and Murphy in the backfield. And
got a whistle.
False start for Mahar.
It makes it 5 yards harder to do that.
Yeah, so rather than just a dive up the middle of the fullback or the tailback, it's going to have to be a little more than that, because instead of it being on the 3-yard line, it's going to be on the 8.
Now Athol is behind the ball. They're down by a point with the 2-point conversion coming up.
And Jim Woodward's going to call a timeout. Make sure they get this right. I tell you, this is one of the best Athol Mahar in several years. I mean, say one of the closest one, there was a game that was played in late September. It was the last year of Sam Paul as the quarterback for Mahar. That was about 3 years ago. And Paul, him and John Garapi were the two top offensive players for Mahar. And Sam Paul really took over being the quarterback running the ball in the second half of that game. And that year was played under the lights. And 2017 was the season, and that was just an excellent ball game. And at the very end of the game, it looks like Athol had taken over and just took a late lead in the game. There was only about 2 minutes left to go, and John Garapi had a 100-yard kickoff return touchdown, and Mahar won the game with that, with like under a minute left to go in the game. So we got, it's about 7 minutes left to go in this game, and a lot can still happen.
Yep, we're doing pretty well. The Mahar Senators right now are up by a point, 20-19 on the Athol Bears. Athol Bears shooting themselves in the foot a little bit here. They were up 19-6 and at the beginning of the fourth quarter. And right now we've got Mahar up on Athol 19-20.
You have an important extra point, but it's going to be a little bit further as there was a false start for Mahar. So they're going to have to, it's about at the 8-yard line, 2-point conversion play. If you just missed it, Mahar just took the lead on a 30-yard touchdown run from Jake Tenney. So Mahar's up 20-19. Okay, so you got Tenney and Murphy in the backfield. The play action pass, and he throws to Spencer on the left side. He catches it. 2 points. Eli Spencer.
And as the teams come back upfield, it is the Mahar Senators 22, the Athol Bears 19. That is a huge 3-point game right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's better to be up 3 points because I know a few years ago, Athol had probably the best high school kicker I've ever seen in my life. That guy could kick I think he kicked like a 42. Yeah, Chris Salinas kicked a 42-yard field goal to win the Thanksgiving Day game. And you don't usually see that in high school. I hear he's throwing the shot put for Assumption College. I don't know why he's not kicking for Boston College. I mean, I know the guy was like 6'3", 250 pounds, but he was an excellent punter, and he kicked kickoffs through the end zone. And I'd seen at least twice he kicked the field goal of plus 40 yards. So they don't have that this year. Dylan Fountain did drill an excellent extra point kick earlier in the game, but who knows? It could have come down to that. But Mahar is up 22-19. They just took the lead on a Jake Tenney touchdown, 30-yard touchdown run, and an extra point, 2-point conversion catch from Eli Spencer. Kyle Notre with a bouncing kick, and Athol has it. Now there's Keegan Lutz to the right side. He's got some more running room. He's still going. And finally wrapped up across the 50-yard line to the 48. And I see the kicker, Kyle Notre, in on that tackle.
So Athol will be playing with a short field here. They are on the Mahar side of the field. It looks like they're on about the 48-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 with 6:17 left to go here in the football game.
It's a 3-point ball game. So a field goal to tie, a touchdown to go ahead. This much improved Athol team. I'm just so impressed with what I've seen with Athol today, especially this year. How much improvement they have. But I do see Keegan Lutz coming out of the game and Shea Brennan, number 8, coming in. Lutz looks a little banged up on that play. Maybe he's just catching a breather and getting some water because, it's hot outside. You don't usually have a football game at 75 degrees, maybe a little bit in September. And Caleb Cox is under center. He is back to pass the lefty quarterback, and he's going to start to run and breaks a tackle and gets close to a 1st down.
Looks like he got about 9 yards on that.
Murphy with the tackle on that 9-yard gain from Caleb Cox.
It'll be 2nd down and 1 for Athol at the Mahar 39-yard line.
We got 6 minutes to play, and that's plenty of time for a touchdown here. So Athol has 2nd down and 1. At their own 40-yard line. Or a little bit past, maybe it's to about the 38. As I said, we can't really see the lines too well on the field, but the orange down markers across the field help us out a little bit.
And we've got the clock running here. 5.5 left to go here in the game.
Pottinger split out to the left along with Brennan. Cox in shotgun. Here's Cox. He's going to run to the right, breaks a tackle. Still going. Finally ripped down by who else? Jacob Karen, number 66, the 2-year captain.
They had him in the backfield for a 3-yard loss. He was able to get 1 yard of it back, but still loses 2 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd down and about 4 in this huge stand right now for the Mahar Senators. We've got 5 minutes left to go here in the game. It's 3rd down and 4 for Athol.
Very important play for the Red Raiders. Either get the 1st down or at least get it to, about a couple yards to go to get a 1st down on the next play.
The Bears.
I know. Even on NBC Sports, Chris Collinsworth called Washington football team the Redskins at least twice. I'll get this. Don't worry. All right. Now the running is Caleb Cox. He breaks a tackle. He's got the 1st down, still on his feet. Noah Chabot comes in with a tackle, and that's a 1st down to the 28-yard line.
So they got about 5 yards on that. Gets them a little bit closer, but clock, did they call a timeout? No, they're running the clock. They have not called a timeout. We've got 4:20 left to go here in the game.
So the Bears calling timeout, 4:18 to go. What a ball game. This is, again, one of the better ball games I've seen in several years between Athol and Mahar. Now, Athol does lead the all-time series by kind of a 2-1 margin. A lot of that is in like the 40s and 50s. Athol was very dominant in the series, and there have been several years where Athol wins Thanksgiving like 5 years in a row. There was a stretch from 1998 to 2002 that Athol won every year, and that stretch, although there were some very close ball games on here.
You definitely can't ask for a better day for football. A great game, great weather here in the spring, although they're calling it fall too.
You hear the Athol band in the background. It's good to have the band. I don't see any cheerleaders this year. Mahar had cheerleaders.
No
and
band.
Athol didn't, but Athol has a band and no cheerleaders this year.
I'd like to remind you, you are watching the game on AOTV 1301, which is simulcasting on WVAOLP Athol 105.9. We will be back with you next week, next Friday. Athol will be here hosting Greenfield. Pregame will be at 3:45 with a kickoff at 4. And if you'd like to see a replay of this game, it will be Saturday at 5 and Sunday at 1 on AOTV 1301.
At any time on AOTV13.org or on AOTV's Facebook page.
Mahar.
So I believe it was Mahar who called that last time out. This is just ever important. So they got first down and 10. The ball's at the 28-yard line. 4:18 left to go. The Athol Bears are up 22. Athol Bears are trailing in this game 22-19. The Mahar Senators had just taken the lead a few minutes ago on the touchdown by Jake Tenney and the extra point catch, 2-point conversion catch from Eli Spencer. It's been a back and forth game. We've been in a thriller. So we got Lutz back into the ball game. Cox gives to Lutz, double handoff. Here's Jake Smith. He gets tripped, and it's no gain on that play. May have even lost a yard.
Yeah, it looks like he lost a yard. They're backing him up 1 yard, so it'll be second down and 11. And we've got about 4 minutes left to go here in the game. Second down and 11 for Athol, who is behind by 3 points, 19-22. Doesn't look like Athol is in really a rush to get up to the line.
Well, if anything, they want to score a touchdown with a few seconds left to go in this game. They don't want to give that ball back to Mahar with too much time. Anyway, second down and 11. Cox under center, and he throws a pass over the middle. It's Gordon, but this time he's able to be tackled by Jake Tenney.
Looks like he got the first down. Looks like he got 12, and they needed 11.
There's the pop pass over the middle, and last time they ran that, it was a touchdown.
So it'll be first down and 10 for Athol at about the 15-yard line of Mahar. Clock continues to run here. We've got 3.5 left to go here in this game. Right now, we've got the Athol Bears.
I do have it printed out here right on my roster. It says Athol Bears. So even I've never called them the Athol Senators, but I called them their former nickname at least twice today. What made it confusing, there used to be an Adam Mahar who went to school and played for Athol. All right, so we got Noah Pottinger split out to the right. Cox back to pass. He's going to run and spins around, gets some yardage, but Mahar defense able to stop him for a gain of about 3 yards.
Clock continues to run, so it'll be second down and about 7 for Athol on the Mahar 12-yard line. I'd like to remind you there is no 2-minute warning here, so the clock will continue to run past 2 minutes.
So it's the quarterback, Caleb Cox, third-year starting quarterback, talking to Bill LaRose, who's been the head coach since 2014. I believe he was the middle school coach from about 2001 to 2013. He, at that point, Rocky Stone was the head coach from 2001 to 2009. And Garvin was the head coach for about 4 years. Brought Athol to the Super Bowl in 2010. Okay, and here's Lutz. Goes to the right side, heads towards the middle. He is busting through. He's getting close.
Gonna
And
be
it's about
very,
the
very
3-yard
close.
line. I think that might be another first down. It's going to be close.
It's definitely a first down. They're not signaling a touchdown, so it'll be first and goal for Athol and about the 2-yard line. Very, very close.
And they're restarting the clock. It's first down and goal.
First down and goal for Athol. Clock continues to run. We've got 1:48 left to go here in the game. The Mahar Senators are up on the Athol Bears 22-19. Clock continues to run. Athol.
Okay, so Pottinger split out to the left. He got 3 backs in the backfield. And here's Lutz off tackle to the right. He goes backwards. Big hit by the Mahar defensive line trying to get it. Looks like that's Melanson, number 4.
They lost about 8 yards on that play.
That was Karen, number 66, Jacob Karen.
Backs them all the way up to the 10-yard line. So they were on the 2. They just lost 8 yards on that. It'll be second and goal from the 10-yard line for the Athol Bears.
Yeah, Karen wanted to get Athol away from that. He wanted to get Athol away from that goal line, so he got through that line on the off-tackle run, made a big stop. Actually, it looks like they gave him some forward progress, so we didn't go back that far. So, all right, 45 seconds left to go in the game. Cox back to pass. He's running. He's rolling, throwing to the end zone. Caught by Gordon. No, that's Pottinger, number 10. 37 seconds left to go in the ball game. Noah Pottinger for Athol.
And with that touchdown, we've got the Athol Bears up on the Mahar Senators 25-22 with the extra point or 2-point conversion coming up. And they've been kicking the extra point. They haven't been going for the 2-point conversion.
So it's a 3-point lead. Have it 4. I mean, I don't think Notre does much more than an extra point. So it looks like it's going to be LaFountain with the extra point kick. He's 1 for 3 so far today. But whether up by 4 or up by 5 is not going to make as much of a difference. So here's the snap, the ball down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So with your score, the Athol Red Raiders 26, the Athol Bears 26, that's 3. The Mahar Senators 22. 37 seconds left to go in this game.
That's a huge 4 points for Athol right now. Because Mahar is going to have to score a touchdown here to win the game. They just can't tie it on a field goal.
Yeah, that like I said, I was Kyle Notre. I was their kicker, and they haven't been doing any extra point kicks for Mahar. He's done the kickoffs, but it's been more of a 2-point conversion. But I have seen Notre do like an extra point. So if it was down like 2 seconds to go on the 3 or 4 yard line, I could see them kicking a field goal. But for this, I can definitely see Mahar is going for the touchdown.
37 seconds left to go here in the game. But like we said, don't count Mahar out right now. They've been able to score pretty quick. Their last 2 touchdowns were scored pretty quick.
Yeah, just like that 2017 game with, Athol had grabbed the lead with about 30 seconds left, but the kickoff return touchdown by John Garapi. But Athol does not want that to happen this time, so this is probably going to be a low line drive kick from Dylan Fountain. First-year football player. He played soccer last year. That's why he's the kicker. So Fountain's going to kick. It's nice and high, and that is Jake Tenney. Jake Tenney's got about the 20-yard line. He's going to the left side. He's going through, runs into his own guy, but is able to spin around, and he's still going. He's around the 45-yard line, Jake Tenney.
Ran into his own guy there. I think that helped him gain a few yards on that.
Because the defender also was his own guy sandwiched in between him and the defender, so you can kind of say that was a block.
So we've got 27 seconds left to go here in the game with the Mahar Senators down on the Athol Bears 22-26. Very exciting game here.
Not sure who called the timeout on here, but I do know that there's a stoppage of play here. So Bill LaRose and Bob Robertson, the longtime coaches for Athol, along with Ryan Boucher and Robbie Nelson. I remember Robbie Nelson playing fullback for Athol about 3 or 4 years ago on there. He's actually the grandson of assistant coach Bob Robertson. So they got to be thrilled with the level of improvement they've had for this Athol team. The last week, winning that game 52-0. This game, the arch rivalry with Mahar, and leading by 4 points with a little under 30 seconds left to go in the game. So whatever happens in this game, I mean, the improvement from the Athol Bears has been outstanding to this year.
They have a chance to go up 2 wins, no losses.
It's not over yet. 4-point lead for Athol. Melanson split out to the right. Mahar has the ball at the 45-yard line. This is first down, 27 seconds left. Chabot is back to pass. He gets some good blocking. He's starting to run, and he's going to run and take it himself. He's across the 50 to the 49-yard line. So Mahar's going to call a timeout with 17 seconds left to go in the ball game. So good heads-up play. Chabot was back to pass. Didn't see a receiver open. He saw green grass open. He ran ahead and got across the 50 to the 49.
And Athol is content to leave him in the center of the field because we got about 17 seconds left to go here in the game. So as long as Athol can keep Mahar on the field and keep that clock running.
Yeah, so Mahar does, they have any more, I think that's their last time out. That's their last time out, and they don't want to be tackled in the middle of the field. They better have practiced the 2-minute drill with spiking the ball.
17 seconds left to go here in the game.
So Savigny and Melanson split out to the right, and you got Tenney and Spencer split out to the left, and Murphy next to Chabot. Chabot is in shotgun. Chabot is back to pass, and he throws downfield, and it's caught by Jake Tenney, but caught inbounds. Mahar's got to hurry up and spike it. Ball's at the 30-yard line. The clock stops because it's a first down.
We've got 11 seconds left.
And he spikes the ball down, kind of a lazy spike. It was borderline a fumble, but it's a spike with 9.9 seconds. So 10 seconds left to go in this ball game. As long as they do the clock correctly, they might have a chance for 2 more plays in this game. Try to get out of bounds if you can.
I imagine they're probably going to take 2 shots at the end zone here, barring anything happening because they can't.
Or at least a sideline pass and try to get out of bounds, but not much room for error. What a ball game we got here at Thomas J. O'Brien and Athol. The Athol Bears up 26-22, avenging last season's 2 losses. But right now, it's a new year, and the Athol Bears, just what an improved team they are. 4 wide receiver set. Chabot is back to pass. He's being chased by Pottinger. Throws deep downfield, and that looks like Spencer has it. And I don't know if he's going to have time to get another playoff. Hey, what are they calling there?
I can't see what they're calling.
Didn't look like he got in, and it looks like Athol has won it. Time has expired. He had the ball caught. He was somewhere around the 5-yard line.
Mahar's not happy about that call. Mahar's not. They believe they were in the end zone.
Well, I mean, I saw the ball was caught. It was kind of a rugby scrum. I was back in the studio. We can't see it live. So as it appears, it looks like they're still talking, so they're not sure what's going on. They haven't declared the game. Have they declared the game over?
I don't know what they're doing. They have not declared the game over from what I
They're talking to Mahar, so
looks like the Mahar coach is not happy either.
Looks to me that Athol won this football game, but I've seen the officials talking to longtime coach Jim Woodward, and LaRose is waving his hand saying, "What happened?"
We don't know what.
Trying to figure out. If you missed it, Chabot had a pass that was caught late in the ball game, and it looks like they were going towards the sideline of the field.
Looks like the refs are conferring to see what.
And the clock expired. Now the officials are talking amongst themselves. To me, it seems like the game's over and Athol won it, as they seem to be walking off the field.
I don't think Mahar's happy about that one.
Now the referees are marking the field, so that was an outstanding game, one of the best games I've seen, and the best game I've seen since September of 2017 between these 2 schools. But the final pass seems like it's going to be just short to around the 5-yard line, and Athol Bears, the brand new Athol Bears, have won this ball game by a score of 26-22.
Yeah, that was really, really close. I mean, they were right on the goal line. Mahar believed that they had the touchdown. The refs called it that he was short.
Well, a lot of it is when was he down? Sometimes they stop it with forward progress when he was fighting ahead to get it, and he never actually went down on that play. But when did they blow the whistle? But apparently, Mahar was not happy at all. But regardless, much improved Athol team, and what a ball game! What a back and forth ball game! Congratulations to Bill LaRose and the Athol Bears. They have won this ball game by a score of 26-22. I want to thank all of our crew for joining this game. Why don't you, Ken, read off the crew?
All right. The crew this week was Rick Gillimet, Justin Holden, Jake Movsesian, Carol Corville, Evan Hansen back at the studio, Bob Schwein running the radio side of things, and Shane Brown back in the control room. We'd like to remind you that you can watch the replay of this game Saturday at 5 and Sunday at 1. And next week, Athol Bears will be here against the Greenfield Green Wave, who we saw a few weeks ago. That game, pregame, will start at 3:45 with kickoff at 4 o'clock. We'd like to remind you, you have been watching AOTV channel 1301, which has been simulcasting on WVAO LP Athol 105.9. This is Ken Purdy. Alongside me is Brian Gamache, and we will see you next week as the Athol Bears take on the Greenfield Green Wave right here on AOTV channel 1301. Have a good weekend, everyone. We'll see you next week.